Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone today? I was trying something with the lighting because I noticed it was like a cast like that on my face. So I hope you can hear me okay and everything. But I'm trying to get that glare that's on my face, off my face. So I'm still working on some things in terms of this temporary setup here. Temporary, very temporary. How is everyone doing today? Let's see. I think that should be good right there. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Not exactly where I want it, but better. How is everyone doing? I need a little desk. Oh, I need space. Um, Hi, we have QT Social Club here. Hi, we have the color box. Hello. Yes, you finally made it to one. Yes, yes. Hi. Minding Minds. Hello. Hello, Amy. How are you? Great. Thank you. Okay, good. You responded fast. That's what we're going to need today in today's case study. We need some fast responses. I don't want to be the only one, just talking because I can just throw out numbers, but I just want to see the purpose of today's case study is just to see how people are thinking in terms of opening a physical business location. So I just want to see what people think. How much do people think these things cost? And how far can your money really go realistically? How far can your money really go? So we have Leilani here. Hey, Leilani. And also, I said I was going to say something about, like the last case study with the toxic nail tech. A few people said, "Oh, I will hire a security guard," and then it's like it's funny because when you're in the situation, which we're going to see today, you will see that I could tell you that that definitely was not a possibility because there's no money in the budget to hire a security guard and pay them all the hours that I'm open, or just hire a security guard, just for one technician. That's not something that I could ever see a salon owner doing. I could see a salon owner doing it if they were in a bad neighborhood and they couldn't necessarily afford. I mean, they were getting robbed a lot or something, but just for one technician, it's just not worth it. And I doubt that money is in the budget. You know, I doubt that much money would be in the budget left over. So I always read all the comments and everything, even though I don't have a chance to respond to everything. I It's just too much to respond to with all the hundreds of videos, but I definitely do read them. So I said hi to Leilani, and then we have Lavina. Hi, how are you? Long time no see. Hello, Lashia Mack. Hey, how are you? Hey, so today's case study is about the $20,000 salon. So that's the case study. We're actually going to be kind of going through and seeing how far $20,000 can take you. Like, so everybody's just going to pretend that they have $20,000 and that we're going to go ahead and get the salon open. So if you saw the little reminder yesterday, it was saying from start to finish, right? So I'm just typing this in here because I did not get a chance to type all this stuff up in advance. And we need more people to log in too. Okay, so this will really work if you all are interactive and giving your input. There are no wrong answers. I always say that all the time. It's just, it gets the mind thinking. It gets you to thinking how other people think. People explain why they gave their answers, or if your answer is not necessarily the best answer, you get to hear other people and their reasoning, and then you hear what I think. And everything I say is not gospel. I just say what I say, then I explain while I'm saying it, and you take what you can from it. It's all up to you and how you want to move in your own career. So, hey, Carnival Nails, how are you? You said you're listening while you're doing your homework. Well, cool. Cool. So where do you think we should get started? So we're opening a salon. And what I have here I have a calculator, and then I have a small dry erase board, and then I have a large dry erase board here. You can't see it, but it's right here. So I have two, on the dry erase board queen. So I have my dry erase board. So we're starting out with $20,000. $20,000. So where do you all think we should start? Oh, this is good. I'm not telling you what this is. I tell you, it's some caramel Baileys. Caramel, well, it's not Baileys. It's like an off-brand of Baileys. So good. Something to sip on in this cold weather. Okay. So I think personally, we should start off with the basics. You know what? I swear I need more space. It's just not enough space here. This is why I must move. Let me grab this. I need something. I need stuff next to me so I can reach and grab it easily. Okay. Let's start off with the location. Now, this case study, I thought about it. I said it's going to be easier if we made this a commission salon. You can do commission or you can do booth rent. But they are set up a little bit differently. But mostly nowadays, I'm just picking up everything off the floor. Mostly nowadays, people are going into commission, and it's because you're going to make more money off commission. If you put yourself into a booth rental salon, you are capping how much you can make. You can't keep just going up on people just because. So it's best to go commission-based because you have more control over the brand, what people are doing. You just can really control your money, and you make the most money in a commission-based salon, okay? So we have $20,000, everybody. $20,000. Now, Lauren said the building. You're not going to be able to buy a business and open up a business buying a building. You're not going to have enough money. You're going to be out of business before you're in business. I'm thinking more like rent. We're going to have to rent something starting out. And to be honest with you, you really wouldn't want to go buy something for a brand you just started. You don't even know how successful it's going to be. It could be a terrible location, so I wouldn't suggest going in and buying something and starting a whole new brand from scratch. That's very super risky. I'm thinking that we would probably get the location. So you're saying the building. So we're going to get the location, right? So how big should this location, first off, how many stations do you want this to have? This is a nail salon. So you want it to have how many nail, manicure, and pedicure stations? Go ahead, tell me below how many manicure and how many pedicure stations. So we're going to break this all the way down. It's so many questions. This may be a long one. So go ahead and answer quickly so we can keep it moving along. So I got a lot of questions. Okay, so we said location, your location, definitely location. You said 20K is not much. I updated my walkout basement for at-home salon and no materials at all. Costs $9,000 in Tennessee. That's why we're doing this because, I was saying, I've said it before in lives that a lot of businesses get like $20,000 and they go open up this beautiful place. And then a year or two later, they're no longer in business. So I wanted us to sit down and think about what happens or what this really looks like. So we're going to say, Amy said 2 or 3 stations each, 3 mani, 4 petty, 5 or 6 stations for each, 4 to 8 stations. Okay, Lauren, I have to come back to that later because we're in the middle of the case study. I don't want to veer off because we got a lot to cover here. But so we got 2 to 3 stations, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 4 to 8. So I'm going to tell you that in doing math, I can tell you that you're not going to really make any money off of 2 stations. And what's going to happen too, if you're something that's open, if you get two people in, the third person walks in, now you're turning business away. So I would never suggest that. We're not talking about a suite. You could put 2 or 3 in a suite. We're talking about a salon, a nail salon. So I would think that the average, okay, you said 8 stations, you're saying 6 mani, 8 pedi, 4 manicure, 2 pedicure. And then I'm trying to understand, why would you all want to make it uneven? I'm not understanding how that happens, because then how do you schedule people when you have uneven stations and you start to get busy on a Saturday? And then it's like, how do you keep track? It's like you schedule somebody for a manicure or hand service. What if they want their feet done too? It's like, I would never open a place. I personally wouldn't. I would try to have at least even stations. You just never know. And then spa parties, like, I don't know. I was just wondering where the uneven numbers were coming from. So I'm just going to take like the average of this and then make it an even number. So we're going to say 6 stations. So we're looking for a 6 station space, right? 6 station. So that's 6 manicure and 6 pedicure. So 6 stations. So 12 total. So 12 total places you can make money, because believe it or not, you're looking at 6 stations, but believe it or not, if you wanted to, you could hire up to 12 people, because you can put a person just on pedicures all day or just on manicures all day or whatever. And some people may not do feet or whatever. I would never hire a person who said they don't do feet. But anyway, yeah, so you can hire up to 12 people. Just look at it that way too. I'm just throwing that out there. So we're going to say a 6 station salon. So how much square footage do you think you need for a 6 station salon? I'm just wondering. And I'm not saying that anyone's answers are wrong. I'm just kind of trying to pull everything together, and we got to come to some type of consensus so we can start getting into numbers. But how many square feet do you think you would want to have for a 12 station, so 6 and 6 salon? Okay. Hey, Phoenix. Hey. Oops, I have to do on the back end. Okay. So you said, Lauren said, well, I'm not good with math with the square feet. And some people don't really know. I'm going to say the average 2-bedroom apartment is 1,000 square feet, just to give you an idea. So at least 1,000 square feet. Amy said 700. Colorbox said 800 to 1,000. 125 square feet. That's going to be a suite for one person. 1,000 square feet, Grant family. Okay, so I think that 1,000. That's what I was thinking too. So Lauren said 1,200. So we're going to go with the average of 1,000 square feet, because you can fit a 6 and 6 station in 1,000 square feet, and it's not going to be the biggest place, but you can definitely make it work, and it's not going to be overly crowded. I can just tell you that. My last place was 2,000 square feet, but I had a massage room and a kitchen and all that. So in a space, just to let you know, that's like 1,000 square feet, you're not going to have all of that space necessarily. You may have a place that you can kind of put a curtain up, whatever, and people can go back there and microwave or whatever. But, this is definitely doable. So we have 1,100, 1,200, 1,000. Okay, so 1,000. We're going to go with 1,000 square feet. So I know that everyone lives in a different area, but let's come up with some type of pricing. So we have 1,000 square feet. We're looking around for commercial space now, not your regular apartment. It's a little different. You're looking for commercial space. How much do you think you would want to pay? And I'm going to take the average of what everyone says, okay? How much would you want to pay? Pretend like this is your 20,000 and you have this in your hand. How much would you want to pay for this space? You say you'll be back. You got to finish your homework, Rule. We'll probably be here because we just now getting started. So can you all just tell me really, really quick? I'm going to keep taking breaks. I'm trying to give people time to put their answers up here. So how much for this space, commercial space? Hi, Life of Monique. Okay, Grant family, we have $700. We have Phoenix Nail said $1,300 a month. Life Monique said $2,000 a month. $75 to $100 per square foot would be a lot of money, and you would probably be downtown in the swanky area. We can't. That's all your money. $30,000. We're talking about per month. How much would you pay per month for this 1,000 square feet? $1,500 per month. $2,500 to $3,500 per month. Okay, so let's do some math here. I'm going to go with the high number and the low number, right? So we're going to even just take the $2,500 a month. $1,700 a month. Yeah, no, we're not purchasing. You can't go out and purchase a business and start a whole new brand with $20,000. That's like asking for failure to me. That's like, it would be a miracle. I guess it can happen here or there, but you definitely not buying anything with $20,000 and opening a business from scratch with $20,000. So we are definitely talking about leasing a commercial space. Yeah, so renting, leasing, yeah, probably in Tennessee about $1,500. Okay, so let's just keep this in mind. This is not the case with every place. Remember, this is just an exercise because sometimes you look up on different deals. But I can tell you that if you are kind of like, if your credit, depending on your credit and all of that, just the way you have things set up, most commercial places are, number one, going to want you to sign at least a 3-year lease, at least. And some people may say, well, I only signed a 1-year lease. Well, you were lucky and you ran into somebody who was being nice to you, because in the real commercial world, commercial leases usually start at least 3 years. Most commercial leases are not 1 year. So I'm going to tell you that my commercial lease initially was for, I think, 3 years. Okay, 3 years. And he wanted the first month rent and then 2 months security. So if you took that number, $2,500 to $3,500 a month, you're already looking at $20,000 minus how much? We're going to even say $2,500. You're already taking away $7,500. So you're already at $12,500. You're already at $12,500 just putting down a deposit on a space. Okay, just something to think about. Just something to think about. We're just going over these numbers to see what they look like, just to get our minds cranking around what it's like to really start up. And this is not always the case. If you find somebody nice, or if you find a little private mom and pop business owner, they may say, just give me, because they don't really know no better. But really, most commercial spaces are ran by larger companies, or somebody who owns a lot of property, and they are gonna want deposits. Like most people, even when you rent an apartment, they want a deposit. So that was $2,500. So now we're gonna say $20,000, and we're gonna go with $1,500. So $1,500 times 3, because it's the first month rent plus the 2 month security, is how much? $4,500. So even out of that $2,500, yeah, that's right. Even out of that that $20,000, you're already at $15,500 just securing the space. Okay, that's at $1,500 a month. So at $1,500 a month out of that $20,000, just for you to get the keys in your hand, you already at $15,500. See, this is how we have to start thinking, in terms of being business owners, right? So I'm just running these different numbers by you. We're gonna keep going. And I'm going to pull all this together on a big dry erase board, but this is my little working dry erase board. So we're going to go back $20,000, and then we're going to say if it were $1,000 a month minus $3,000, because that's going to be your first month plus the 2 month security, you're already at $17,000 $17,000 just to get the keys in your hand. So if you were to get a 1,000 square foot space and it was $1,000 per month, you're already at $17,000 just to get the keys in your hand. What do you all think about that? Because I'm going to move on to the next part, and then I'm going to pull out the big dry erase board, and then we're going to take it from there. What do you all think? Okay, so what I think we should go with, because I kind of been thinking about this all week, how we should approach it, because there's so many different scenarios, but I want to give you something that's realistic and something that I know to be true and can kind of be across the board, except for places like possibly New York or California. These numbers may be a little bit higher, but for the most part, these numbers should be realistic. So we're going to say $20,000, and this is going to be our big dry erase board. These are going to be our hard numbers, right? So I'm going to say, just for rent, we're going to be nice and say that you ran upon something, not the best area, okay, in an okay area for $1,000, because I can tell you my rent definitely wasn't $1,000, but we're going to go with $1,000 just to be conservative. So rent, we're going to go rent right here, or to secure the place, you're already taking away $3,000, and this is me being very conservative. So far, we are at $17,000. So this is the budget. But we now have the keys in our hand. We have $17,000 and we have the keys in our hand. So now let's move on to the next part. The next part of this. So we have these keys in our hand, right? We have the space. Can you please tell me what is next? We have a salon. We have a location secured. What is next? And this is, and to be honest with you, I'm really not doing it in like exact order, but this is just to give you a general idea of what it is like to open a salon. It's a lot of little steps. We can't go over everything. That's a whole other video. But you know, what are the next steps? Can anybody tell me what the next step is? Because I know so many people want to open a salon. What is the next step? That's why nail techs need good credit. It's essential. All that comes as a business owner, you want to have decent credit. You definitely do. I'm crazy about my credit. Okay, so we got inspection, equipment and furniture, register with the city, permit inspection, insurance, equipment, licensing, getting redone to your needs. This step should happen before you get the keys, but the next step is simply this. The next step after you get those keys should be getting your licenses and your inspections and stuff completed right away. I can tell you it just varies upon state and city, whatever their requirements are, but that is the next thing you need to get done. A lot of people who didn't, really sit down and think about it, they'll just jump right into buying stuff. But that's the worst thing you could do, is just jump into buying equipment and buying polish. That's the worst thing to do. What you can do is have all that stuff priced out, but don't start buying yet. Really, before you go get a commercial space, the first thing you want to do is, before you even get the keys and give them the money and sign your name, you need to be finding out. You need to be finding out if that place is zoned for what you're trying to do before you sign. Because I had a place that I was going to get, the price was right. They had drew up the lease and everything. And I said, let me call the city. When I called the city, they did a perimeter check, and you cannot be within 1,000 square feet of another nail salon. And unfortunately, I was not able to get that place because there was one on the other block, and I forgot about that nail salon. I wasn't able to get the space, and they were mad at me. But I'm glad I didn't sign the lease, because if you sign the lease If you sign a commercial lease and you fail to do your due diligence and you sign that lease, and then you find out when you try to go get the licenses and everything, and they tell you you can't for whatever reason, that person, the people who own that commercial property, can hold you responsible for the balance due on that lease. You think I'm playing? It's real business. This is real talk. You will owe all that money. What do I mean by that? If you go in and sign a 3-year lease and you so gung-ho because they approved you, and then you sign that lease and you get them their little $3,000 for that 3-year lease, you still owe them $35,000. How do you owe them $35,000? Because you still owe them for 35 more months of paying them $1,000. They can hold you responsible and take you to court for that amount because you signed a lease, and it's not their responsibility to find out if you can be zoned for what you're trying, for the business you're trying to do. Those are things you have to do before you go sign the lease. And I'm just putting it out there for people. But okay, so licensing. So how much do you think that we should be spending on license? And somebody else said something else that is very, very, very important. And they were talking about the Accessibility Act. Now, I will tell you that when you go in for licenses, some places will require that you have different inspections. The inspection can be a general building, and the general building inspector can come. And also they may have the fire marshal come out and check as well. I can tell you that when I had my inspection, when the fire marshal came out, he made me go in and put in like different things like railings and things in the bathroom to make it handicap accessible. So how much should we be spending on licenses? How much money are we putting aside for licenses and inspection and for any minor adjustments? Because there will be some adjustments. Let me tell you how business goes. These people that are inspectors and all of that, it is their job to find things wrong and to make money for that city or for, you know, that town. So they're going to find things wrong. Okay. Don't freak out, but they're going to find things wrong. It's their job, and they have to look like they're doing something. So they're always going to find something. So given that, how much are you setting aside out of this budget for the licenses, inspections, and potential adjustments to pass inspections and get your license? I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to give me a number. How much are we allocating to the side? This is why I want a mobile truck, because I can take with me wherever and it'll be mine. Yeah, mobile truck, they are putting a lot of regulation around that too. But I think me and my friend were talking about that the other day. She wants to do a mobile business, not a nail place, but just mobile, especially today. In today's world, yeah. Like 500 with licenses, business license, exit signs, at least 1,000. So we got 1,000. We got 1,000. We got 1,000. That's exactly what I said. So 1,000. So where are we now with our money? Let's go back to the big dry erase board. We still just getting started, because you guys, all we got at this point is just the keys. You see what I'm saying? All we got are just the keys. That is all we have at this point are keys. So we're going to say paperwork. We're going to say paperwork. Paperwork minus, you know what? We're going to do like this. Minus 1,000. I'm going to put all the minuses in the red, because that's when your money is draining from your account. So that was 3,000. So where are we now? We are now at 16,000. We are at 16,000, and we are just getting started. We are already at $16,000, and we just got what now? Only thing we have now are the keys, and we got the paperwork, We got the licenses and inspections. We made the adjustments. We put in the railings. We put in, like you said, the exit signs. That was something else I had to do. I had to put up a lit exit sign. It's funny you mention these things. Y'all, some of y'all really know, because that's something that was on my inspection list too. My exit signs. I had to put up handicap railings and extra monoxide detectors and stuff like that. And something else I had to do, because it was like some stairs, like 2 stairs to get up there. And I had to do a couple of things. But let's not even talk about doing the things. You got to pay labor to come in and make those adjustments, and then you have to wait for them to come back out. You got to wait for them to come back out. People don't know, and get back on that inspection schedule. So we're at $16,000. We got the keys, we got the paperwork. Okay, so we are now officially clear to open, right? Let's see. You said, wow, that's why I'm doing a suite first. Yeah, everybody wanted, the people get mad at me. I had somebody get mad on me on this channel about the salon. And people always think when you tell them stuff that they're like, you're being a hater. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I'm telling you that if you don't do it the right way, you're going to learn some hard lessons and you're going to be out of a lot of money. I don't know why people want to be hard-headed. Man, I wish I had somebody tell me stuff. A lot of stuff I learned by trial and error. Trial and error. And a lot of lost money. And you can't be stubborn in this business. You can't be stubborn in something you've never done before. You want someone to tell you, because this is no joke. You get out in this real world and start spending this money and start going to commercial business. It's a whole different ball game. You're playing a different ball game. So we're going to keep moving. You said it depends if you get like Airstream, a large, oh, y'all talking about that. Okay. So you said I'm going to need a bigger board. You said lights. Okay, so what's next? So we got the keys, we got the paperwork. They saying we can open today and just be in this place. So we're going to assume that this is just a big open space with water, you know, with running water. It should come with hot water tank. It should come with heat and all that, and just basic, what we call a vanilla box is what you call a vanilla box. That's just a commercial space. That's just a big, wide open space. It usually has some commercial carpeting or sometimes some ugly commercial flooring that's ugly. And just basic, and they call that in the commercial world vanilla box. So you bought 1,000 square foot. You are leasing 1,000 square foot vanilla box at $1,000 per month. So you're paying $1 per square foot. I appreciate y'all, but I'm telling you, I have some people. I got people around me. They always want my advice, and when it's not what they want to hear, they want to think you hating or you jealous. And I'm like, no, you want the truth, didn't you? We talking business. Ain't no feelings in business. So the fire extinguisher. Oh, that was another thing. Well, that stuff is going to come along with your inspection. When your inspectors and stuff come out, that's going to be part of the $1,000. Those little things you have to go out and, you know, that'll be part of that. So we're going to put that in $1,000. So Nails by K said, what about plumbing? No, I appreciate you all too. You said it's why you told yourself at least 50K minimum to start. Let's keep going. Yeah, you would have been frustrated. We didn't even get to that part yet, y'all. We only 10% in. We only like 15% into this. I'm trying to really break it down the best way I can. This is 15% in, okay? We only got the keys and some green lights to go. So let's go to what she just said, because I feel like that should definitely be next. Plumbing. What type of plumbing do you need in a nail salon? Let's think about this. Now, before you give me a number, I want you to close your eyes and think about a nail salon. A nail salon with 6 manicure stations, 6 pedicure stations. You got 1 bathroom. The bathroom's there, the hot water tank is there, everything. But what plumbing do you need to have ran? How much money do you think you're going to spend on plumbing supplies and to have a licensed plumber come out and run this plumbing to these 6 pedicure stations and whatever else you need done? Think about that and tell me how much you're going to spend to get this plumbing done for these 6 stations, because we're going to do the pedicure, 6 pedicures, right? So I'm going to give you all 30 seconds. How much is the plumbing? I don't see no comments here. What are comments? I'm reading it. Thank you. No, I really thank you all so much. I'm weird. My friend always tell me to take a compliment. I don't say stuff to get a compliment. I just say stuff because I get frustrated with people who, even people close to me who want to come to me for information. And then when I don't tell them what they want to hear, they get mad or they start feeling some type of way and they make the relationship weird. And I'm like, you asked me to put on my business hat. My business hat is different. But if you want to be in business, you got to get out your feelings. That's how you get to the money. Understand it. Okay. Okay. So they're not gonna teach this in school. I already told you how it was what's really happening in school. So the color box said $5,000. Shansworth says, shoot, that's 10,000 right there. I know that's what you said. I didn't hear you, but I heard you. Hopefully less than 2,500, laughing out loud. 2,500. Grant family says 6,000. 8,000. You said 500 to 1,000 per pedicure station. 5 to 7,000, 8,000. I'm so glad you all are engaging. I really was hoping, like, I hope people don't sit back and wait for me, because I just want to see, everybody's going to think something different because we live in different areas. So I just wanted to take an average. You said, I think it's in the ground for those pedicure chairs. You said about 3,000, 8,000. So we got all the way up from 10,000 to 2,000. So I got the little dry erase board. So let me come in a little closer. So for plumbing, what I'm thinking is you have to buy materials, right? So you need to buy materials and then you need to buy labor. So when you were talking about materials and labor, what are we talking about it for? We're not just talking about the pedicure station, because keep in mind, if you've been in a nail salon, I'm sure all of us have, you have to install an additional sink area. Okay. When people are doing hand services, have you ever been in? It's very rare that you go into a nail salon. When they say go wash your hands, you don't go in the bathroom. You go where? To the sink area. You all forgot about the sink area, didn't you? You have to build out an additional sink area outside your bathroom. Forgot about that, didn't you? I know you did. And see, believe it or not, we're talking about a very basic salon. This is not even high end. We don't even have a kitchen. We don't have any extra special rooms or anything. It's just a basic salon. So materials and labor. So we're talking about seven different stations that we need plumbing for, not 6. We need it for 7, including that extra manicure wash station where you scrub down your tools, where the clients go to wash their hands. All of that. That should not be the bathroom. It should not. It could be, but any nail salon I've ever been in is a wash station. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So looking at these prices, I'm going to be very, I don't think I'm blurry. Everybody else, can you let me know? Because I'm looking clear on the screen. I don't know. Maybe this because of the lighting. That's why I put it up close, because of the green screen and everything. But that's something to think about. So we're doing plumbing for 7 stations. Now, you can find people that are cheap. And believe it or not, the numbers that I'm giving you are being very conservative. My numbers are not like outrageous at all. They're not dirt cheap, but they're not high. Actually, the numbers that we're talking about today, I'm picking numbers that are a little bit below dirt cheap, or, whatever. Dirt cheap is you just got lucky. So, okay, my internet was out for. How about now? Because I see that my internet plug came out. I'm not going to say anything else until I get some confirmation that everything is kind of clear. Is it okay now? It should be better because I have the internet directly connected in. It fell out. Okay. So why didn't we get a place that was doing nails prior that will be less expensive? And I see you said that twice, I think. Why didn't we rent or get a nail shop that would be way less cheaper? Who said it would be cheaper? You only got $20,000. Have you ever went into a nail salon, sorry, nail supply store and looked at the bulletin boards? They always have nail salons for sale. I never see one that cheap. When I see nail salons for sale in my area, they are usually on the low side, $45,000 and up. And if you get something that's below $20,000, usually there's an issue why they're selling it. So it ain't gonna be cheaper. And if you only have $20,000 is not a lot of money. If you only have $20,000, how cheap you think you're gonna buy an existing nail salon? If you do, you probably buy it in a terrible hood location, and it's a money pit. It's something wrong with that salon. Okay, and then you're gonna have to have money to come in and rebuild it out and refresh it. Because if somebody's selling a salon that cheap, there's nowhere in the world it's going to be nice looking. There's nowhere in the world it's going to be a money maker. They wouldn't be selling it that cheap. So if you only have $20,000, you're going in and you're buying somebody else's problems. And trust me, even if you gave them $10,000, it's going to cost you more than $10,000 to get it up to your standards. I can guarantee you. I would be leery of any business I can buy that cheap. What's wrong with it? It's the reason why. It's rare, you know. So that's why $20,000 is really no money, y'all. I'm trying to break it down. We just getting started. So, okay, materials and labor. Let me see something. I'm gonna come up on my phone. Real quick. I'm just trying to see what you all are seeing. I'm just trying to see what you all are seeing. Oh my God, it's asking me to do a survey. Turn this on. I'll show it clear on my end. No. Okay, let me just see what you're saying here. Okay, I'm just explaining why. That's if you found something that was like somebody selling a nail salon for $10,000, and it's you that was God blessing you, because that would be a miracle and rare. It's something wrong, and you still got to have money to switch over licenses and all of that. And you're gonna want to repaint the place. You're gonna want to go in and buy the stuff that you want to buy. You're gonna be out of your money gonna be gone still. So I'm just showing you how to start from scratch and do it your way. Okay. So that was just a quick answer for that. Okay, because I didn't want you to think I was skipping over it. Hey, Sarah. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing. Girl, be all type of problems. If somebody's selling something that cheap, it's something you don't see, I promise you. You're gonna spend every dime getting it up. You won't see it right away, I'm gonna tell you. And I've never seen a salon that cheap anyway for sale, ever. Okay, so we're going to get on with okay, what's included with the rent? Nothing is included with the rent. The rents for commercial space is just the rent. You are responsible. Usually, if you are lucky, the water can be included, but it doesn't necessarily have to be included in a commercial lease. The commercial lease, you can be responsible for the water too. And a lot of times when they hear that you're doing a nail business, they will want you to be responsible for the water. My landlord didn't, but a lot of them will. So you will be responsible for your lights, your gas, whatever. I just wanted to see, because I got a number. I feel you says plumbing gets real damage over wear and tear with the chemicals. Yeah. I've seen a couple say they don't be that cheap. Please. See, people not gonna hand you their brand that they've built and they've been marketing and doing all this stuff for nothing. Like, I just find that really strange that I would be so leery if somebody was selling a nail salon under $10,000. There's something wrong. You see, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about this. You're going to keep saving. No, it's just thinking about, you don't necessarily have to have cash. This is why my last video came up. Do nail techs need good credit? Any business owner needs good credit. because this don't always have to be credit. But I'm noticing a lot of businesses get $20,000 and they open up a business, close a year or two later because they don't have any credit. They have no knowledge of how the business runs, and they spent all the money making it pretty. But they didn't realize how far that money would go. So we're going to say plumbing, materials, and labor for 7 stations on the low end. Just looking at everything, just the plumbing, we're going to say on the low end, we're going to say materials may cost you about $800. And then we're going to say, and you all tell me yes or no, do you think this is a fair number? So materials, $800, right? Materials, $800. And then we're going to say labor, $2,200. So that's going to be a grand total of $3,000. That's $3,000. So we're going to say $3,000. Do you all think that that's a fair number? Materials, $800, because materials are not usually that expensive. Materials, $800. And when we talk about materials for something like this, you have to get the piping and all those fittings and all that stuff. And they're going to have to run some lines. They're going to have to run some copper. They got to run some drains. And this is really on the low end, you guys. I'm really being conservative because I can tell you that I paid way more than this. I can tell you that my plumbing alone was 10 G's. But I'm just trying to show you where $20,000 goes. So do you all think that that's fair? This is you finding a deal. This is you finding the best deal possible for a licensed plumber. You say yes. Can I get a couple more yeses, or do you think it should be higher? Because I'm about to transfer this number over to the big board. And I got a list over here, some other stuff, and I forgot to grab it. So can you just tell me yes or no? Do you think this is fair? So before we move on to the next thing, we'll... See, I have a whole nother notebook. I was just writing things as I was thinking of them during the week. And believe it or not, I'm skipping over a lot of little details. I'm just trying to give everybody the gist. And I'm going bare bones on the gist of things. Okay, fair. Okay, cool. $20,000. I don't even want to pay $200 a week for a suite. Yes, okay, cool. You said we need more funds. I mean, it could work. I think it should be higher. Around there, a little higher. You see, it depends on where people live, and that's why I said I'm taking conservative numbers. So I am going to stick with the 3,000 because y'all, let's go over to the big dry erase board. Let's pull out the big dry erase board. I'm gonna scoop this up. I'm gonna take your comment down. We're already at 16,000. So we have to put in this plumbing. And with this plumbing, we're gonna $3,000. So now we're at $13,000. We're at 13,000. Oops, I should have written that in oh, that's permanent. That's okay, I'll get it off. $13,000. Also, all that red is permanent. Okay, I'm not using that anymore. I'll get it off. But it's time for me some new boards. So we're at $13,000 so far. 13,000. So what do we have at this point? We got the keys, we have the green light to move forward, and we got the keys, and we have the plumbing ran. It's gonna focus. So we have the plumbing ran. So what's next? What do we got to do now? Let's visualize it. The plumbing is ran. We're going to assume that we didn't have to do drywall and all that. It was a vanilla box, which is in decent shape or whatever. Do you all want to do the floors and all that? And what about the walls and the floors? I mean, like, what do you all want to do next? Since 20K is not a lot of money, what if we did pipeless pedicure stations? Pipeless pedicure stations are more expensive. Pedicure stations and pipeless pedicure stations, you're not saving money. That's more of a convenience thing. Pipeless pedicure stations are just as much, if not more. I know the more around $1,500–$1,600. And then if you build a pipeless pedicure station, now you have to build a stage, because now you have to put the people up on a stage to work on them. Because if you put it on the floor, the technicians, it's awkward for them to work. I can't explain, but usually when you build out pipeless pedicure stations, and it's $3,000. You're not gonna really. You could run the numbers on that, but pipeless pedicure stations, even if you just bought the chairs and all that, you might save 1,000 or something. I guess 20K will go so quick in LA. Yeah, that's why I said East Coast, West Coast. Numbers may be not realistic for you all. You can do waterless pedicures. We talking about a regular nail salon. If you're doing waterless pedicures, to me, you are not a traditional nail salon. You are a specialty nail salon. If I want a pedicure, I'm probably not going to come there because I want to soak my feet in the water. Anytime I come to a nail salon, I actually tell them to let me soak a little bit longer. I always do, because I want them to get up in there and get my ingrowns or whatever. I like to soak longer. So I don't even like waterless pedicure. So I probably wouldn't come to a place that don't soak feet. I'm just gonna, I ain't gonna lie to you. You can do that, but I'm just saying, we're talking about opening up a regular nail salon. That's the whole different business plan. That's a whole different marketing and everything. To me, I don't know. You didn't get into furniture yet. Lighting, decor, products, tool, credit card machine, reception area. Y'all, we're gonna make this work. So what's next? So the floors, we're going to say, to be nice, that the floors are that ugly commercial tile. Luckily, the place I had beautiful gleaming wood floors. That was abnormal. I had a vanilla box, 2,000 square feet. I had to build out rooms and everything, whole nother story, but the floors were beautiful wood. Most places are going to give you that ugly commercial tile, the one that you see in the schools. You know what I'm talking about? So what are we doing next? Can I get some answers? What are we moving on to next? We got $13,000. What are we doing next? We can make it work. This is what business owners do. People make it work with 20,000. People make it work. It's just that some people put the money in the wrong areas. Put the wrong amount of money in the wrong areas. We got floors. So, okay, just trying to think out the box. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, to me, that's a whole different salon concept. And for the purpose of this exercise, we're going to just stick with the traditional salon, because it could go there, but then you got to think about some other things, because waterless and all of that, you still might have to build a stage. You still got to figure out chairs. You still got to figure out different bowls, so it saves some money, but it's not to me enough money where you would just change the whole gamut of how you, because to me, that's two different businesses and it's going to deter some people. So I wouldn't make such a huge change just to save $1,500. I wouldn't, because it's such a huge difference in how the business looks to a customer. It's not, to me, it wouldn't be worth the change. Equipment, furniture, products. What we doing next though? We gotta break this down. Floors. You said this is a spot, baby. Can we paint furniture? Okay. So let's close our eyes. We got the keys, we got the green light, we got the plumbing ran. So it's plumbing sticking out. So I guess the next thing that we should do is paint and floors. Paint and floors, right? So what are we gonna do? Seriously, we got $13,000 left. What are we doing with the painting and the floors? First of all, what do you all want to do with these floors? They're commercial tile floors. What are we gonna do? We got $13,000. What do you all want to do? I'm gonna let you all think about that, because we know we're gonna paint the walls or whatever our theme is, our logo and all that, because we're not gonna go into that part of it, but we already know what our colors are. So we know we gotta paint. You wouldn't just leave it. And usually commercial spaces have some little nicks or something on the wall. So we know we got to paint, but what about the floors? What do you want to do with the floors? You want to leave them as is? What are we going to do? And how much do you want to spend out of this $13,000 on paint and doing something to these floors? Give me a budget to tell me what you want to do and give me a budget on how much. Here we go. Come on now. Come on, tell me. I'm getting stressed because I've been through this before. Waxing area, bathroom, mani and pedi stations. No, we're working on the walls and the floors because we got to do something with the walls and the floors. So we got the keys and everything. We got the green light to go. We ran the plumbing. So now you're walking into a space that has plumbing sticking out. You got drains in the floors. So what you're going to do with the floors and the walls? Somebody said, leave the floors. Natasha said, leave the floors until we can afford to upgrade. It depends on how fancy you want it to look. Well, you got $13,000. So it depends on what that money looking like to you, honey, and what you thinking about, what you got left to do. You got $13,000. Give me an answer. Give me an answer. Don't give me that roundabout the way answer, Montgomery. I want a number and I want a decision, darn it. Can we install those floors that click into place? You can do whatever you want to do. This is your money. We can get those sit on tiles from Lowe's that you click together. Okay, so you all saying the same thing. Sorry, Montgomery, you had said something. 2,000. Yeah, I want to hear some decisions. We business owners. We got $13,000 left in our bank account. And I want you all to think about something. When you are in the middle of a project, this can very well happen. Whether you're a landlord or opening any type of business, you find that you can become, your budget is looking a little different because there's so many little things that start to happen. You cannot stall because what's happening? What is happening while you're sitting here stressing? Time is ticking. Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. And you only pay for 1 month of rent and 2 months security. So guess what? You got to pay rent. Keep that in mind. Okay, this whole time. You got to be moving. You got to be moving because you still got to pay that landlord rent. Just because you gave that little landlord $3 little funky $1,000 don't mean nothing. That was most of that was security deposit. You got rent due. So you cannot be lottie-dying around opening this place up. So what we doing? We got $13,000. The floor should be carpet, shiny floor, slippery floor, possible lawsuit. 3,000. So we got 2,000, 3,000. Hardwood. You're going to install hardwood floors. I don't even think that will totally blow out your budget. I can tell you that, to put in hardwood floors. Regular floor. 3,000 to 4,000. Floors and cabinets are expensive. 1,000 on floors. We can paint the floors marble. That's about $1,500 to $2,500 depending on the space. These are all ideas. So we know, I'm just going to say, like, with that floor, that commercial ugly floor, that's if you go into a lot of discount salons, especially in the not so great areas. If you look down at their floor, they left the floor as is. They left the floor as is. But you know us, we're going to want to do something to the floor. So these are some great ideas, like the marble resin type thing. That's something you can do. You can buff the floors out, you know, whatever. Here's something I did before, and I'm just throwing this out here. When I didn't have a lot of money, you can get a clear resin floor glaze and you could put a whole bunch of glitter in it and you could throw it over the existing floor and let it dry. And you could do a couple of coats of that. So you can kind of play with what's there already and you can just make it glittery, like glitzy. And that will be really cheap to do. But in terms of how much money we're going to spend on floors and the walls and everything, y'all saying $3,000, $4,000. Now keep in mind, you only have $13,000. So can I get 3 people to give me a number? How much are we spending on these floors and these walls. Whatever you want to do. I just gave y'all an idea. See, you as a business owner, you got to work with what you got, and you got to be creative sometimes. You know, we all have great ideas of what we want stuff to look like, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I would personally just glaze the floor with a clear glitter a couple times. That's cheap. But you know, you haven't made any money yet, and rent is about to be due in a couple weeks. You know, the plumber was in there for 10 days, 7 days, because he disappeared for a couple of days on you. This is how it's really gonna go. Rent is gonna be due again. So how much we spending on these floors and these walls, y'all? I need some numbers. We're just gonna say floors and walls. We're not gonna go that deep into detail to keep it moving along. So we still got a lot of things to cover. So floors, 1,100. Floors and walls, 1,500. We're gonna DIY. Walls, 1,200. Okay. So just for the sake of moving the exercise along, what we're gonna do is say, I'm going to pull out the little dry erase board. We're going to say walls, because you're looking at this money and you all are saying you're getting anxiety. So we're going to say the walls, you might have to do DIY, have a paint party or something, get your cousin or your uncle or somebody who does good enough. So we're going to say painting with the paint and paying somebody you kind of know to do it. So this is how it really go in the real world. We're going to say, for all those walls, we're going to say $600. We're going to say $600 for all the paint and paying somebody you know to do it. And then we're going to say whatever you decide to do with the floors, you're going to leave yourself a budget of, because money is looking weird, we're going to say you leave yourself a budget of $800. So that's $1,400 total. $1,400 total. And that's being really generous with the floors, because you can do a lot with $800 on that floor. Okay, so we're gonna deduct $1,400. Oh Lord. Okay, so I'm gonna take this comment down. We're gonna deduct for the floors, wall, floor. Oh. We're going to deduct $1,400. 2611. So now we have, we are at $11,600 left in our bank account. $11,600. So where are we now? We're going to keep it moving along. We got the walls done. We got the floors done. We got the plumbing done. Whew. Okay. You said, or the dude at the gas station, give him a 6-pack and a Bud Light and a 2-piece of Popeyes, he could paint do the dollars for $300. That's what I'm saying. That is this. See, when you start really looking at it and you in this mess, everything can't be done by a company. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not working with this type of budget. So true. Floors. Okay. Next, Genevieve says furniture. So what is next? What is next? Do you all agree? Please tell me one word. What do we got to get next? What are we doing next? Okay. Reception or entry. This is 1,000 square foot space. I doubt you have room for much of a reception area. That's not really that big. You might have like a desk or something that you could put up there. I don't know. We could put that in with furniture then. If you want to have, you must have a furniture area, then you can include that in your number. And I hope that you all are writing down. It would be me. I would be like writing down my real numbers of what I want this to look like in this exercise, so you can have some type of reference to things you're not thinking of when you're by yourself and say, "Dag, this is what I really want. This is how much it would cost it's a good time. You can still backtrack and say, well, I want to spend this much. I know, you know, you can still kind of do that now. Okay, furniture. You said we got to pay the locals. Oh my God. Yep. Definitely booth rental. Booth rental was less money. You make more money with commission, but it's up to you. Um, I say furniture and marketing, furniture and nail techs. Okay, so we're gonna go with furniture. Let's get. Okay, so furniture. So we got 6 manicure stations and 6 pedicure stations. How much do you think that's gonna cost? You got about 12 stations. And we're just talking about the nail station. So how much would 6 manicure stations cost? 6 manicure, 6 pedicure. So let's just break it down a little bit. How much would 6 nail tables cost? 6 nail tables. 6 nail tables. We got $11,600. How much would 6 nail tables cost? You said IKEA desk, 200 each, pedicure chairs on Craigslist for 200 too. So you're saying $400 per combo. You said new or used. It's up to you. $800 desk. Is that per desk? So what's the total? How much would you want to spend on 6 manicure tables? How much would you spend on 6 nail tables? Six nail tables. We're going to do the nail tables first. The total price for 6 manicure tables. How much? Looking at you currently have, what I'm gonna do while you all are typing your answers, I'm gonna go ahead and put our current running total up here. This is how much we have so far. We're at $11,600. $1,200. You said at least 200 on the low end. Okay, to keep things moving along, I'm gonna go with 1,200 because that's saying you spending $200 per. Unless I get some more. I got my L table on 110 on Amazon, and the more you buy, there may be a discount. A L table? I know you're not saying a table is shaped like an L because that's way too big for a salon. It's too much space being taken up. So I'm not sure if that's what you meant to say. We ain't get there yet. 1,800. So what we're gonna do is this, just to keep things moving along, because we still got a lot of ways to go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna say $1,500 for 6 manicure tables. Why? Because you can pay a certain amount for 6 manicure tables, even if you said $1,200, $200 each. You still got to pay taxes on that $1,200, and you still have to pay delivery on that $1,200. $1,500, and that's on the low end. Again, 6 manicure tables that are decent commercial grade. See, when you are opening a nail salon, you can't go buying little stuff that you would do in your house while you're just starting out because you're doing high traffic. You got to think commercial. Commercial, it has to be heavy duty. And if you go buying stuff that's too cheap or cheesy or flimsy, it's going to break. And then your salon is going to be falling apart. It's going to start looking raggedy. So you can't buy stuff that's too flimsy or cheap. It has to be sturdy. So a decent sturdy nail table with taxes and delivery, I would say realistically, probably about $1,500, just trying to be, conservative. So that's 200 plus taxes and fees, taxes and delivery, because you got to get them 6 tables there. You can't put 6 tables in your car. Most nail tables are very bulky, unless you know somebody with a pickup truck. But just overall, we're not going down to the dollar, $1,500, right? And then the pedicure station. So, oh my God, now we have to buy 6 pedicure tubs. 6 pedicure tubs. I need some answers, y'all. How much does it cost? Is it going to cost us for 6? I want you to do this. Can you tell me how much you plan to spend on 6 pedicure stations? And I want you to do this. I want you to put your number new or number used. So if you said $3,000 new, the total number, or you could say $3,000 used, the total number. So how much would you spend for 6 pedicure stations? And tell me if it's new or used, the number that you came up with. This is the number for 6 used ones, or this is the number for 6 brand new ones. Come on now. Yeah, you need some storage and you need something sturdy. What you might buy for your house start now is totally different from what you should be buying for a salon. You will find yourself replacing stuff quickly. It's a lot, but there are some nice tables that are gorgeous and at least 300 a piece. The delivery is crazy. Yeah, that's why I just said, let me add in taxes and delivery, because you got to pay taxes on this stuff too. So yeah. Oh, geez, a small fortune. You said 1,200 used. Can I get some more numbers, please? 1,200 used. So she's saying 200. So she's going used. She's probably going on Craigslist. You can't find them that cheap. But you run a risk when you buying used stuff, because there's no real way to test those out. Because when you find them used, even if you go to a nail supply and they're used, you cannot test them out. And they usually don't give warranties on these used ones that's that cheap. It's just like, buy at your own risk. But I mean, hey, look how much money we have left. $11,600. So 2,000 used. So if you're saying 2,000 used, you're saying divided by 6, you're saying roughly $333 each that you plan on spending. Can I get 2 more numbers, and then I'm going to take an average. I'm going to take an average of those numbers, and it looks like, yeah, because this is what we're working with. Can I get 2 more people to give me some input on how much are we spending on these 6 pedicure chairs? How much? How much? How much? This is a really good wintertime beverage. Okay, good. We got some new numbers here. 2,500 to 3,000 new. So I might have to get new. If you're saying new, you must be saying each. You don't have enough money to buy chairs. You're not going to get pedicure chairs new at that price. Maybe each 2,500 each, but you don't even have enough to buy them at that price new. 8,400 new, $13.99 per chair. You want to spend $8,400 of your $11,000 on the pedicure chairs? Okay. New. 2,500 to 3,000 new. You all realize you only have $11,600 to open this business, and you're about to have to pay rent again soon because time is ticking, right? So 2,500 times, you don't even have enough. You don't have enough. And you will not get new chairs, new pedicure chairs for 6 of them for that price. That's not being realistic. Okay. 4,500, I'm assuming, are we talking about new or used? These numbers right here that you all are throwing out for new is not realistic. You're not going to get 6 chairs at that price new. So if you're saying per chair, you don't have enough. So I can't count those numbers. 25 is 3,000 each. You don't have enough because 3,000 times 6 is $18,000. You don't even have $18,000. You only got $11,000. So you can't buy them new at that price. You can't. And the average pedicure chair new, even the lowest grade new, is like $1,500 per chair. $1,500 for a professional plum pedicure chair. Right. Okay. Right. $1,500 per station new. So what you're saying is 1,500 times 6 is how much? Are you? No, no. We only got 11,600. So 1,500 times 6 is 9,000. So out of $11,600, you want to spend $9,000 on pedicure chairs? They're pricey, at least $1,500 a chair. Yeah, so 1,500 times 6 is 9,000. You only got 11,600, and rent is going to be due soon. 4,500 used all 6. You said I would get one. You're gonna have a salon with 6 manicure stations and 1 pedicure chair, and you got all these nail techs. I'm gonna tell you what would happen. If I came to interview there and I saw this beautiful ad up on Craigslist and you made it look real pretty, and I got there and I thought it was cute and I saw you had 1 pedicure station, you would not be my first choice to work at. Me. You know why? Because it's gonna be a problem if I need to get in there and do my clients and do pedicures and the station is clogged up because somebody using it. So logistically, you asking for a nightmare buying one pedicure station. You asking for a nightmare. Plus, you already did plumbing for 6, and it's sticking out the walls. I'm just throwing out. We just gotta, this is just thinking like, how does this really go in real life? Water bowls in. You say you just looked at some new ones. They had 3,500 times 6. That was $21,000. That's what I'm saying. Like the new prices, y'all. Do y'all know how much new pedicure stations cost? Even the cheap ones, the low grade ones, is like 1,500. I don't think there is a way around that amount. We have to spend between 8,000 and 9,000. That's cheap. Isn't this interesting to see how everybody thinks differently? We would only have 2 to 4 chairs. But even if you did 4 chairs at that price, you are taking a huge chunk out of that 11,000. You still got a lot to do. But all of this is interesting because this is what happens when you see businesses that open up. And I'm gonna take this down because I'm not saying it to you. I'm just saying in general, it's good to see to see what people are thinking when they're opening a business and they quickly run out of money and they end up closing or whatever because things like this pop up and then we make the wrong decision. And one bad decision like this can be detrimental to the longevity of your business. You cannot do that. That would not be a good move. And as you stay online, because for all of you all are saying these high numbers, I still got like a long list of things that we haven't even gotten to yet. And you all are talking about spending over half the money that you have left on pedicure chairs. No. Half new, half used. Looks like we're getting used chairs. Or can you purchase from the nail schools? Their used ones. They use them and they usually get them donated to them from somebody or buy them for nothing. Or they're like running on their last leg. Most nail schools, you would not want to buy equipment from them because they have had students playing around with them and making them worse than ever. You do not ever want to buy anything from a nail school. The nail school is like the graveyard for most nail equipment. Most of it is donated to them. I donate to the nail school all the time. I'm telling you, it's the stuff I don't want or don't use. So, just seeing. But y'all saying, hey, Queen L, hi. You say you missed a lot. You'll catch up later. Yeah, we're building out this $20,000 salon and we're at 11,600 and people are right now trying to spend up all my little money and all their little money. And I still got a whole list of things we got to do. Okay, y'all, this is the answer that I'm going to come up with. Shame on y'all. Shame on everybody who said we're going to buy something new at $3,000. You would do that? Would you really use all your money up on one item? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what you got to do at this point. See, this is what being a business owner and making some hard decisions comes down to. But you can pull a juice out of a turnip if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing and you sit down and you really run your numbers, you can pull juice out of a turnip. This is how much we're going to spend on each. We're going to spend $1,500 on manicure. We're going to spend $1,500 on pedicure. We're going to spend $250 on each pedicure station. Okay? That's getting them for $250. And you can get the pedicure station for $1,500 too. Now, there's another part to this that you all are not thinking about. There's another back into this. You can run your numbers running it by a portable football if you want to. The portable football thing is cute. It's cute. You save a couple $100, but you don't really even have to do that. And you actually, that's a lot of extra work running. Now you got to be running bowls back and forth and emptying out in bowls. You can run your numbers on your end. Like I said, some of you all can have a separate sheet of paper, running some different scenarios for yourself. But right now we're talking about a traditional nail salon. When people walk in, the traditional nail salon, because even just because you do something portable or pipeless don't mean you're saving a whole bunch of money. You just have to learn how to just, make good executive decisions that don't hurt the bank, but at the same time, people don't really know that you cut some corners. There are ways to cut corners without people even realizing you did it. Like I told you with the floors, throw a clear coat of glitter wax or glitter gloss over the floor. Do it like 3-4 times. Keep letting it dry a couple days, air out the room. And that commercial ugly floor can look cute. It's ways to kind of get around things. So we don't have to go that drastic, but you can run some numbers on the side. When you start talking about portable stuff, you still have to buy supplies. You still have to pay a carpenter to build out all this stuff. You still got to buy cushion and all that. So once you finish doing all that and buying all those supplies, and you still got to buy those, what's the balava bowls? Those are not cheap. You're still only, from what I just said, the $1,500 option, and what you just did, you might have saved $200. You might have, but you could do it that way too and make it look cute. But what you are also doing too is, I'm telling you, as a nail tech, you're making work harder for your nail techs, because now you got them lugging bowls back and forth, and that stuff gets annoying. So you could do it that way, but you're not saving the money you think. But the way to go, this is just me, you gonna go used. You starting out with a smaller budget, go used. It's just one thing after another. You're gonna never open up salon. You can. I like to have real discussions, but you all are forgetting something, because you got these 6 manicure stations and these 6 pedicure stations. We're missing something. What are we missing? So that total so far is what? $3,000. I love talking about stuff like this. This is my thing. We're at $3,000. Okay. What are we missing? I'm gonna give you all 30 seconds so we can wrap up this cost and put it on the dry erase board and move on. What needs to be done? So we can move on to the next thing. What needs to be done with these manicure and pedicure stations? Sisters, don't just stare at the screen. We got, okay, so we got the keys to the place. Don't you log out. Don't log out now. We got the keys to the place. We got the green light to go. We got our inspections and everything done. We got our licenses up on the wall. I didn't go all into deep into that. Those are whole nother videos. But what are we gonna, well, we're missing something. Okay, we got this stuff sitting in here. While you all think about it, don't forget to do this here, but I need to see some answers. What needs to be done next? This is not the final cost. This is $3,000, not final cost. Okay. Installed. Cost of labor. Yeah, because you just bought the stuff. You just paid to have it delivered and all of that and the taxes. But you got to have the stuff installed because now it's just sitting in your salon. The plumber came and did the plumbing. The plumber coming to do the plumbing is a totally separate job from him installing these darn pedicure stations. Nope, we're not even there yet. Install. That's what we're talking about. Do you think jetless bowls will deter customers? I feel like jets are becoming more and more unsanitary. I think that it depends on. That's a whole nother conversation. That's actually a whole nother video. You can definitely do jetless, but jetless, you got to really make sure your place is just up, because jetless, to me, it's like a more of an experience. And with $20,000, we just opening the basic. So if you're gonna really do something that's like that, you got to really make sure it's kind of glitzy and glammy. And I'm just telling you, carrying all them bowls and stuff back and forth and dumping water and all of that gets tedious on nail techs. I know somebody who does. I do. What am I talking about? I do jetless, and I'm telling you, I can't wait to get some plumbing because I'm tired, and I get tired of carrying all that water back and forth. And it's just annoying and it's tedious. So it doesn't deter customers if your entire decor in the place is upscale. But it's going to kind of, you got to be careful with, to me, this is just me, you got to be careful with that jetless look, because if you're going to go jetless, you got to bring it. You can't put jetless up there, have people in chairs, and then the place kind of looks low budget. You got to really bring it. And it's got to be a very polished look, and everything else has to be polished, because people like those jets. People like sitting in those chairs and getting that massage, that deep massage that chair gives you. If I ever go get a pedicure by somebody else, which is rare, I always soak longer because I like the jets, and I will turn on that massager and just chill out for about 10, 15 minutes. I tell them, I'll tip you more. Just let me soak a little bit longer. That's my thing. So when you go jetless, you don't get the exact same experience. And some people will tell you, because I did interview some people a while ago, some people will tell you that those benches and stuff are uncomfortable. They look cute, but they're not comfortable to sit on. People don't want to sit on a bench and have to sit straight up. Some people just want to relax and let their body go and be massaged. And then if you do the chair, you can only put the little seat chair thing in, but for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going with the traditional nail salon as people are used to seeing it. So, something like that can be done, but I just feel like there are certain little things that might need to be tweaked to make sure that you are not hurting your business and cutting the corners too much. So no, that's not it. We didn't even get to that part yet. We did the business registration. I just threw all that in with the paperwork. So we got that. We got all our paperwork and everything. I threw all that in. I'm being real conservative. Hold on. I hate when this happens. Hold on. It's going to take me to another screen. Close that out. Okay. Ventilation. Well, we're going to assume that the ventilation is already kind of installed, because with the commercial spaces, you have the airflow and the air ducts and everything, and and you can also buy like a little thing. That's why I said this is just a basic exercise, because there's so many little things we're not talking about. You need chairs, all these things correct. Tech chairs, ventilation, installation of equipment. They have plumbing, use Jetless, just Jetless. Oh, the jet. Oh, you talking about the jets. I'm sorry. I like the jets. And my other salon was Jetless. I had Jetless in my big salon. People liked it, but it was because I would have to show some pictures. I packed up all my magazine articles and stuff. I could have shown you. It was Jetless, but I was back then considered a very high-end spa in the Loop area. So I had other things going on that kind of it was a whole vibe. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're gonna do something, you can't just do that to cut corners. You got to make sure that the whole vibe is there so people buy into it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Yeah, hard like sitting on a concrete wall. So you got to be careful with going with them benches. And with the Jetless thing, you can do it, but you got to make sure the whole vibe is cranking throughout the entire place. Like I did Jetless, but my place was custom built. Like I'm not saying it in a bragging way. Like my place was not. I didn't have pedicure chairs. I had stairs and stuff built where you had to walk up the stairs and you go into your private space. And I had curtains where you can be like in your own private space getting your pedicure. And we mixed your stuff up in front of you like rose petals and all that, you know. So it was a whole vibe, you know. We use all natural this and we were in magazines and all that. So it kind of went along with it. And people were digging on that. But if you do it and then the rest of your place is kind of like on the low budget end, it's going to look like you're cutting corners. So it's a very fine line when you start skipping a lot of corners. And Jetless can look different ways. I had like huge stainless steel bins that people soak their feet in. And so how are you doing Jetless? You know, you can't have them soaking in plastic tubs. Like, if you're going to do it, it's got to be a vibe. But I'm getting off the subject. So installation. So to install, you got to have that plumber come back. You got to have that plumber come back. And you're going to probably have to pay him an additional $500 because now he has to bring in some help because he's going to have to move those pedicure chairs into place and install that water and everything. And he's going to have to make sure that they're getting proper pressure. Don't think that you're going to just buy something and plug it into the wall and it's going to work and everything. And you just, no, you have to have a plumber come install that because they got to install it. They got to connect the drains. They got to connect the hot and cold water and they got to make sure it's getting correct pressure. So now you got to have that same plumber come right back out and you would negotiate this up front. But he's going to want more money to come back later for install. He's going to have to bring somebody with him. So $500 is really being conservative. It's really being conservative. So let's go back to our big dry erase board. Let's go back to the big dry erase board. Okay, so we're going to keep moving because we still got things to do. So, okay, plumbing, right? So plumbing, we said how much we are $3,500. Another $3,500 going out of our bank account. So now we're at $8,100. We're at $8,100. You all the time, we're gonna buy new, we're gonna pay this much. You would be not even opening up. You would be in debt before you even opened up your business. It wasn't possible. It just wasn't possible with this amount of money. It just is not. So now I'm changing the number. We're now at $8,100. That's how much money we have left. Oops. That's how much money we have left. And it's a lot of little stuff I'm skipping over. Because what are we going to do with these lights and stuff in here? Somebody said electrician. What are you all doing with the lights? Are you just leaving the lights as is? Because I'm going to tell you at this point, it's not much you can do with them lights. You have painted the walls and you have did something with the floor for now. And you got that plumbing installed. You got the pedicure stations installed. You got the nail tables up there. What's next? What's next? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know, everybody said they want to be in this business. Let's keep going. Please tell me what's next. Somebody tell me what's next. What should we be getting next? What we moving on to? Yeah, people will pay for that vibe, baby. Our cheapest pedicure started, that was basic at 35. Like most expensive was like 80. They were paying. We had a whole vibe. We served you cucumber water. We had different types of tropical music and stuff playing. We had different themed nights and stuff. We had hula skirt night. We served you beverages and a coconut. You know, we had a whole thing going. If you're gonna do certain things, you gotta give the whole experience. You gotta give the whole experience. I digress. Nail supplies, bathroom or break room. You probably ain't got room for no break room, 1,000 square feet. And yeah, whatever's there, you just gonna have to somebody bring a refrigerator or something. You at this point, you should not be putting money into no break room. Don't put no money into a break room if this is all the money you have left. That would be a total waste of money. Whatever's in there, you better bring your microwave and a little fridge from home. A POS system. Let's do these two things because you all just said some things, honey. And actually, somebody just said. What was that? Did y'all think about this? And I didn't even write this on my list, but it's a must-have. How you gonna wash all them towels and stuff? You need a washer and dryer. Every nail salon has a washer and dryer. Somebody may say, well, I don't have a washer and dryer. I bet you work by yourself too. Yeah, you can keep taking your towels home yourself and washing your own towels. When you have a salon, a nail salon, you must have a washer and dryer. How much are we spending on a washer and dryer? This is a quick one. How much are we spending on a washer and dryer? Because I'm gonna move this along a little faster. We got to keep going. We got much more to go. We got $8,100. Wash and dryer. Let's go. How much we spending? Washer and dryer. Now you gotta have a washer and dryer. You say, I take the towels home. You're not gonna be taking the towels home. If you have a 6-person salon, sometimes you will be washing towels more than once in a day. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. I'm telling you. You will be washing towels throughout the day. You're not taking them home. That is not an answer for this scenario. 400 set used, 300 to 400, 1,000. 800 for a combo, 1,000 for both chairs. Okay, so you all want to spend that much money, $800 to $1,000? You only got $8,100 left. I'm gonna keep this moving because we got a lot going on, and I'm gonna go with $400. So we're gonna take $400 out for a washer and dryer used. At this point, you got to start thinking used. Come on now, we got to be realistic. You got to be smart spending money as a business owner. So now we're at $7,700. We're at $7,700. I'm gonna move a little fast. I'm just trying to get everybody thinking about what this realistically looks like. So we're at $7,700. Now let's go into a POS system. Let's go into a POS system, which is a point of sale system. It's a system where you are ringing everybody up and you are booking the appointments. Everything is on this computer system. You got to pay for some POS system. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you all this one because one thing you can do is just bring your laptop or something from home and you can install some POS software And I'm going to skip past this part because a lot of people may not have this knowledge, but you can do it. That's the cheaper way to do it because you're really running low on funds. You at $7,700. For some people, they think that's a lot. That's nothing. I'm telling you, it's nothing. $7,700. You can buy a POS system for $250 and put it on your laptop. So at that point, we are now at $74.50. So $74.50. So now what do we have? What do we have now? What do we have now? Let me change this number up here so we can keep it moving along because we still got a lot more to talk about. And we still ain't open. And let's not forget, rent is about to be due. Rent is about to be due. We got to make some decisions so we can get open. We are at $7,400. What's next? At this point, we got what I turn to say. I got bills. I got some jewelry. Got some clothes. Other than that, I ain't got nothing. Everything is tied up into investments. That's what I'm trying to say. So right now, where we at? We got the license. We got it open. We got the pedicure stations installed. We got the nail tables and everything. We got the floors, the walls did. We got a washer and dryer. We got a cash register, a way to book people. We got a way to we got a booking system, and we have a way to calculate the money. So what do we need now? I had to move that part along because this video will be 5 hours. And I said to myself, I was like, I actually took a nap before I came on here. I said, people don't realize how long we could be talking about this. And this is just general. This is not even a real, this is general and it's realistic, but this is just general. That's why I'm telling you, it took me 2 years to do my stuff, but that's how I took my time and I went and did all the calculations and worked with the Small Business Administration. And when I opened, I wanted to make sure I was successful because I was putting so much of my money and it wasn't no $20,000. That's how we stayed open for so many years because I already knew how much I was going to spend in all the little nooks and crannies. And this is just general. So we said nail supplies. Ain't that what Ike said? I got some jewelry, I got some clothes, I got a couple things, but everything is tied up into investments. He put his glasses on. Then the judge said, what? Instruct your client to take his glasses off. Oh, you ain't got to tell me nothing. Y'all know I don't watch that movie a million times. Y'all look at what Amy said. Because y'all, we still making the place a business. We're still working on the nooks and crannies in the frame of this place. So Amy, you are correct. What in the world are you all doing for a sign? You done put all this stuff in here. You got the license and everything. Where's your sign? How do people even know you're there? You need an awning or something. How much you spending on that? Please let me know. We got to keep going because I still got a whole list of stuff now. We had $7,400. We need a sign. You need a sign. You need a sign. Oh, don't bail on me now. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Them probably like $1,000 graphic designer neon lights. $400. What kind of $400 sign you getting for $400? It has to be a commercial. This is a whole nother conversation, but you got to put a sign outside your business so people know you're there. It's not going to be $400. I can tell you that much. It's got to be something that can withstand the weather. A commercial sign outside. You need a sign. You got to have something in the window or outside the building to let people know. So I know a lot of people may not know about this part, so I'm going to skip and I'm going to give this answer too. The best thing to get is an awning. I had an awning and then I paid extra because we were on the corner. I paid extra to have not only an awning put out there, I paid to have another 6-foot sign, vertical sign put on the side of the building to protrude. So as traffic was driving each way, they could see. Altogether for that, I probably paid with labor, I probably paid $3,000 for that. But we only have $7,400, and that would be silly to spend that type of money on just the sign, even though the sign is super important. So at this point, we're gonna say $1,000. You're gonna have to figure out something for $1,000. But $400, and I've seen businesses do this, and this is why those businesses are failing. They just throw something out there just to say something's out there. But if you are starting a business from scratch and nobody knows you, well, that's part of your marketing, and that's very important. So you want people to know that you're there. The people in the neighborhood say, "Oh, there's a new business." So you can't. It's like you can't just throw something up there to say something is up there. It needs to be visible, and the traffic needs. You need to draw attention. So that's very important. And let's talk about something else. Anytime you put a sign outside your business on a commercial space, you are responsible and liable for additional insurance coverage and an additional license to have it outside your business. And a lot of people don't know that. You have to buy an additional license and additional insurance for that. Why? Because if it gets really windy outside and it falls on someone, they're not going to sue the city. They're going to come after you because your sign fell on them. If it dry rots and comes out of the wall and falls on them or falls on their child, God forbid, you are responsible. So you have to get additional insurance. Whatever you put outside that building is not on the landlord. You have to have additional coverage for that. So, y'all, people don't understand. So what we're going to do to keep moving this along, we're going to lump this all up into one more cost. So we're going to go into this. We're going to go into 3 different costs. Somebody, now that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You might have to do that at this point because you don't have that much money. Get a banner made until you can get an actual sign. So that's a great idea. And that's thinking like a business person who's working with limited funds. So you have to get your sign and you need to get your insurance. Let's just lump this into one more payment. How much is your sign for the place and your insurance? And when I say insurance, you need insurance on your business. You got to get some type of insurance. You got to call Allstate or State Farm or American Family, whoever. You got to call them and get some commercial liability insurance. And on top of that, even if you get a banner out there, technically you're supposed to have insurance on that banner because let's just say this, and you all may say, "Oh, she's just doing the most." No, I'm telling you how the insurance company looks at it and how your landlord is going to look at it because weird things like this happen. What if that damn banner blows off in a wind? And I'm in Chicago, so we're in a windy city. It's super windy or some type of storm. That sign blows off, that banner breaks loose from your building, and it flies onto traffic to the front of a bus, and it covers the bus, and the bus has a big accident. Or that sign comes loose from the building, and it flies onto someone's windshield, and it gets caught in their windshield wiper blades, or it just blinds them temporarily, and they have a car crash. You are liable for that accident because your banner flew off the building and hit them. So you're still supposed to have insurance even for a damn banner. Can you believe it? This is real business. So how much? How much are we spending on getting some type of signage so people know we're there, and getting some insurance coverage for this place. How much are we spending? I'm going to give you a few seconds. Look, I know it's getting tedious, like, oh my God. We're business owners. This is how it really goes. Okay. Yeah, you was thinking about putting something in the window. Here's the thing. See, this is where things get tricky for business owners, because we start wanting to spend all this ridiculous money on certain things. Then when we get down to the things that really matter, we kind of want to skip. And that's the opposite of what you should do. If you want to misappropriate money, I would rather you do it on marketing versus the inner stuff. I'd rather you over market and have the place with cheap stuff for now. And then once the business grows, you can upgrade stuff. But many business owners do the complete opposite. They spend too much money on stuff that is not going to bring them money right away, but it just looks good, you know? So you said the traffic has to see the signs. Yes, that's important. I paid for 2 banners. I had an awning, and then I had another sign outside the building, like literally hanging off the side of the building. So traffic from north and south could see it, because I was on a busy street. They could see it from both ways. That was just one thing I did. And I did spend that additional money. I utilized that corner to my advantage. Okay. Those light up flashing ones, I thought you usually have to rent them. I went to Vegas and they had retired building signs museum because most of the companies didn't own them. Well, here's the thing. You're not going to rent a sign that has your business name on it. If your business name is the Crayon Box, you can't rent a sign that says the Crayon Box. You got to have it made. So neon signs are not as cheap as people think when you start doing custom names. You're not going to just put nail salon and have no name. You don't have your name anywhere outside the building. And I don't know if that's what you're saying, but I know some people saying, "Oh, just get one of those little signs, put it up in the window." You got to put your brand out there. It would be insane to just open a business and say we're open, or just put a sign up in there that says nails. If you just put a sign up, even the Asian chop shops put up the name of their business. Even if it said Lee Nails, they're going to still put up Lee Nails somewhere. So we got to spend money on our name at some point. So let's see. But now we're thinking, because we're looking at how our money is, right? You said I better get a banner made. And then I just talked about the banner. $800 for the sign and insurance. That's funny, because that's exactly what I have. $800 for the sign and insurance. Because the banner, you might spend like $150 or whatever. And you could just throw it up there, have somebody help you tie it up there. But the insurance is probably going to be for 1,000 square feet, depending. We're going to say $600 for the year. And that's being very conservative. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the $150 that you actually had to spend on the banner. And then we're going to take 25% of that $600 that's left over for the insurance. And we're going to say another $150. So what we're going to do is we're going to deduct $300 from your total, because that $150, the other $150, so one $150 is for the actual sign, and you can put it up yourself or get your uncle, somebody to help you. The other $150 is for the down payment on your insurance policy, and the rest they would just bill you for. So realistically, we're going to say you just lost another $300 out of your bank account. And I'm running out of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this, and we're going to start all the way over from the beginning. See, I messed up the board, y'all. I have to clean that with some acetone and bleach. I can get it out. But so where's my marker? Where were we? We were 7,400, right? So 7,400 minus, what did I say? 300. So now we're at $7,100. We're at $7,100 right now. $7,100. You're like, well, that's still pretty decent. Well, we're taking forever, and we still got a lot to do. So let's keep going. Shall we? What's next? Now I see why those other shops got all their relatives working there. Everybody got to pitch in. Exactly. See, a lot of things people got opinions about, but unless you've been through it, you can say whatever you want. When you go through it, you'll have a totally different mindset on this, and you will stop saying, I just do nails. You're a business owner. We make the same business decisions as everyone else. We just happen to do nails. Hey, Lynn. So what's next? What's next? Y'all already know what's next. I feel like at this point, we got the keys, we got the licenses and all this stuff. We got the plumbing, we got the nail tables in, we got the pedicure tables in, we got the POS system, we got the washer and dryer, we got the sign out front, we got the insurance on the place. What's next? We gotta keep it moving. We gotta keep it moving because don't forget, rent's about to be due. We just paid the first month rent. That first month that you're in there and you're doing all this stuff, you paid to be there to do all this stuff. They don't give you the first month free. They don't give you the keys. They, oh, here, just get it together and I'll give you it for free. They don't do that. That first month, you basically paying rent to go in and spend all your money up. You owe rent again on the first. So what is next, honey? What's next? We got to get open. We got to get open. Got 70, that's not right. We have $7,100. We just lost $300 on insurance and some type of signage. I knew this was going to be a long one. But if you follow my channel, you know we've gone 6 hours before, but this is definitely not going to go that long. But that's why I'm kind of moving it along. Brittany said marketing, advertising, hire people or rent booths. This is a commission-based salon, which is different. A commission-based salon. Renting booths, I'm going to tell you, I really don't suggest that people rent booths. It's going to be harder to get people to rent booths. You will be very blessed to find people that will stay with you long-term renting a booth because suites are out. And so the price that you would charge to rent a booth, people can get a suite nowadays. Commission, you're going to get a chunk of the pie off of every darn person that walks through their door. I always suggest that people do commission. But I'm just saying. Discount salons do what? Commission. It's the reason why. Why would you just want to charge a person $100 or not even $100? That's too cheap. $150 a week or more. And they're making all this money and you paying all this overhead and like, no, you should be getting cut off everything that walk through that door. Like, to me, that's exponential growth. When you go into booth rent, you are stunting your growth. You can only make this much because you only have 6 booths and you can only make this much. So if you're only charging $150 a week, you can only make $150 times 6 and no more. Even if everybody in there just starts growing and the business is becoming more and more popular, you're only going to make that set amount. So I really don't suggest people do booth rent. That's kind of antiquated and dated. That's just my opinion. Some people may not like it, but if you do the math, you'll see that with commission, you can make as much as the business makes. You just have a little more responsibility, but your growth potential is unlimited. You limit yourself with booth rent. Now the products and hiring and advertising. Exactly. Chairs for the tech and the customer. Thank you. No, thank you. And you just said something there. How much for these chairs? I forgot all about the chairs. We need chairs. Think fast. How many chairs total do we need? Go. I don't have any answers. I need to know, how many chairs do we need? I'm not telling you. How many chairs? See, I knew I wasn't thinking of everything. I actually stopped writing my list as the week went on because I would have to pull out my business plan, which is a whole book in itself. I literally have like a book because the SBA made me put together a whole portfolio before they even would let me sit down with their financial people. I had to do all this work and go to the library and everything before they would sit down with me. Okay. This just is very skimming over it. And I forgot all about shares. So let's talk about it. I still haven't seen how many shares we need. Just the work. How many chairs do we need? We got 6 manicure stations. We got 6 pedicure stations. For each manicure station, you need 2 chairs. One for you, one for the client. For each pedicure station, you need 1 stool. So that is 12 plus 6 plus, like somebody said, the waiting area. I didn't have chairs in my waiting area. I bought a bench. So we're just going to say 1 bench because if you are running a business that is efficient and you have a system in place, you should not have a lot of people around waiting. So you need 1 bench. So in total, you need 19. You need 19 seating areas. You need 19 individual seating areas. 12 for the manicure, 6 for the pedicure, and 1 for general people waiting. So 19 sitting areas. Woo! How much should we spend on 19 sitting areas? Oh my God, this is giving me anxiety. Like I'm opening up all again. I'm just doing a number off the top of my head on how much I want to spend. Oops. Y'all saw that dog on it because this is a live. I can't edit that out. How much are you spending on 19 sitting areas? I forgot about seats. Look, because I'm going to keep it moving right along. At this point, you're going to have to be creative and you're going to have to really, like, I didn't sleep when I was trying to open my place. I didn't sleep most nights because I was researching, always trying to find the best for the smallest price. You know, I just put $50. And even at $50, average cost, because you're buying different chairs. You're going to buy a different chair for the technicians than you would the customer. And you're going to buy a stool for the pedicure area. And you're going to buy a bench or 1 or 2 chairs for the reception area. So I just averaged the cost off. And this is really being stupid, low conservative. I just said $50 each and you're already at $950. So basically $1,000. $1,000 just to have people sit down, just everyone being able to sit down. So let's go back to the big dry erase board. 7,100 minus $1,000. Where are we now? We're at $6,100. We're at $6,100. And that was me being conservative, saying $50 on average. So if you spent a little bit more on the technician chair, you might be able to find some stools that are $30. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I just gave it an average cost, just to give us the average answer. So let me change this number. And what do we need to do next? Because I'm going to keep this moving along because it's getting kind of long, but this is interesting. Would you say this is interesting to really sit down and think about this? We're $6,100. $6,100. $6,100. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? We're almost there though, because at this point, if you close your eyes, everything is there. The only thing is one major thing that's not there though. I'm marking stuff off that we already talked about. We're missing some major stuff though. Y'all have said it so many times, but I skipped over it because it doesn't come that early like you think. This is the time when we get into the other stuff. What's the other stuff? We have no supplies. We don't have any supplies. We have no towels. We have no buffers. We have no files. We have no scrub. We have no polish. We have no gel. We have no gel lights. We have no gel lamps. Nothing. We don't have. Now, nail techs, they should bring their own drill and their own tools. But in a commission salon, you supply everything. So you have no supplies. You get $6,100. You have no supplies. This salon is basically, boom, it's there. It's painted. You're using the lights that's already there. You glittered or did something with the floor. Pedicure stations there. Manicure stations there. You got the awning or the sign out front, whatever. You got the insurance in place. You got your POS system and everything. But you don't have any supplies. You got a washer and dryer. You don't have any supplies. How much are we spending on supplies? We got $6,100. $6,100. Inspection already came. That was in the beginning. That came in the beginning right after getting your keys to the place. So we already include that price conservatively. So you don't have any supplies. So you got to think about it. How much of the $6,100 are you spending on supplies? Remember, you need gel polish. You need regular polish. You got to buy all these different colors and everything. Towels, buffers, files, alcohol, acetone. You got to buy acrylic. You got to buy liquids. You got to buy all these things. How much are you going to spend? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. I know that $1,500 was for the chair. You said you're gonna have to rewash this. Live with pen and paper, yeah, and you could write down this, but then you could write down in your mind how much you would really want to spend, so you can have an idea. Okay, yeah, the price list goes along with that's a whole nother video. We're talking about how would you spend the money. So I never had a price list up on the wall. I had some stuff printed out, but you say you need to start back Ubering. It goes back to my other video. That's why you want to have credit. But a lot of people don't have biz credit. They don't have good credit themselves. They don't have business credit. They don't have any of that. They just get a chunk of money and they say, I'm going to open my dream salon. And then the dream is really a dream because they be back closed because they didn't think about all this stuff. Supplies is next. You say I'm bringing everything from the house, maybe $400 or $500. You must have a lot of nail polish colors. And this is the other thing. When I say supplies, you cannot bring everything from your house. You know why? Because you got to buy gallons of acetone. You got to buy gallons of alcohol. When you get busy, you will go through I used to be at the supply store every Sunday or every other Sunday, spending money on supplies for my 6-station salon. Like, you will be going through stuff. It's not just you working. It's 5, you plus 5 other girls, or 6 girls working. If you did what you're supposed to do marketing wise, then you should be busy. So your little supplies ain't gonna last no time. You gotta buy pump bottles for every station. You gotta buy pedicure carts. You gotta buy towels for 6 stations. You gotta buy lotion for 6 stations. You gotta buy dehydrator, all that stuff for all these stations. You gotta buy top coat for all these stations. You gotta buy petty slippers for all these stations. You got to buy toe separators for all these stations. You coming from your house, that's nothing. So how much are you allocating out of the rest of the $6,100 to get this salon at least up and running with some supplies? Every station needs to be supplied. How much? I need a number. 2,000. At the discount salon, you use their supplies and equipment. At the Brown Supply, you got to bring your own top coat and base coat and drills. Why is this? Because people let them get away with it. And people have their own little thing, but most salons, you have to supply your own drill, your own tools. Own drill, your own tools. And some of them say your own UV light, but you should still always have, as a salon owner, a UV light and drills on hand. Even if you said the technicians has to supply that, that's not really helping your budget. Do you all realize how much stuff you got to buy? Buffers, files, all this stuff, like towelettes to lay down over the towels. Like, it depends on how you want your salon to look. You want to look low budget or at least decent. You got to buy detergent. You got to buy soap. You got to buy toilet tissue for that bathroom, paper towels for people to dry their hands off of. You got to supply this place now. You got to have an emergency kit. Exactly. We're talking about a salon, a 6-station salon, which is very regular. That's not even outrageous. That's regular as hell. 6-station salon is regular. That's nothing spectacular. That's nothing big. That's not a big salon. That's very basic. If I said 12 or 20 stations, yeah, we're talking 6 little stations. How much you got to supply this stuff? Cotton to wipe stuff off with, like base coat, all this stuff for these stations. You got to put this stuff on every station. How much do you want to spend on putting this stuff on every station? 4,000. Okay. Yep. Everything in bulk. 4,000. Lamps, acrylic, dust collectors, polish, tips. You got to buy all this. Forms, towels, barbicide. You got to buy all this. Acetone, monomer, etc. And let's not forget the containers that all this stuff must go in. Pump bottles, little dapping dishes, all these little things. Whatever you put in the scrub in. The little cups. Why can't I think of the name of them right now? The portion cups. You have to buy all this stuff. And you need to be... Toilet tissue, you open to the public. You can't buy 4 rolls. You can't buy 12 rolls like you would for your house. You need to go buy some damn toilet tissue for real. How much are you going to spend on all this? I got denied a nail job because they asked to bring my supply. Yeah, that's not a straightforward answer. It depends on the commission and where your skill level is and your experience. It's not a straight answer. It depends. But, most places supply most, but you got to bring your tools and all that. So how much are we going to spend? So I saw 2,000 souffle cups. Okay. I saw 2,000. I saw 4,000. So 3,200. Okay. So to keep things moving along and just looking at the amount of money we have, $300 a month per tech. Okay. So just looking at the amount of money we have, so we got this place and we need to open it because we got to pay rent. I keep saying that for a reason. Let me pull out my little dry erase board. The little dry erase board. The little one. Just alone on polishes and gel. We know how much gel costs. Just even stocking up gel polishes and all of that. We didn't even talk about polish racks. So we're just going to say that this is included in the supplies because you got to put polish up on the wall everywhere, right? And buy polish racks. That alone, unless you want to look like, you got to have a decent supply, right? So just polishes alone, gel and regular, polish alone plus the racks, you're going to spend about $2,000. Gel, we know, costs money. And if you can't open no nail salon with 30 colors. If you're going to open a nail salon, you got to have some colors. And the thing nowadays, see, when I first opened, gel wasn't even out. So we just had to buy polish. But the thing nowadays, you have to buy gel and the polish color because there are a lot of people who just get polish on their toes and the gel on their hands. You got to have both. So that increases that cost. So realistically speaking, to have a decent, not even the best, just a decent supply or decent selection of polish and colors, you're going to have $2,000 for that. And then when you start looking at things like your pedicure carts and filling all that stuff up with lotion and the pump bottles and all that stuff, the cotton, the towels for all those stations, you're probably going to spend, and this is just bare bone, bare bone. Oh my God, bare bone, another 1,500. And this is really bare bone. You will spend way more than this in real life. But we're just going to say for this exercise, $3,500 on just supplies to supply everything. And when I say supplies, it's so many little details. I cannot even begin. I'll be talking for another hour about all the little things you would have to buy. Little bottles, little droppers. It's just so many little things. So we're going to say $3,500 to move it along. So we're going to get the big dry erase board. Where are we now? We're at $6,100. We're going to take out $3,500. And this is just supplies. This 1,000 was for chairs. Right? Okay. So if you take that out, hold on, moving that. Oops. Moving this. If you take that out, the 3,500, you're at 5, 6, 2. You got $2,600, baby. You got $2,600. And these numbers I'm spitting are not even outrageous. These are actually conservative, and actually some of them are underestimating. So let me change this number, because this is where we are. We are at this number right here. Realistically speaking. We're at $2,600. But we got everything. We got the keys to the place. We got the licenses. We got the licenses up on the wall. We got the insurance. We passed all the inspections. We got our washer and dryer, our POS system. We got all the supplies in there. We got professional plumbing and everything. We did some with the floors and the walls. We're going to keep the lighting as is. And we got all the supplies in there. We got the signage out front. I mean, we got all of that. So what else are we missing? We got about 4 more things. What else are we missing? And these are things you're going to have for real. Just take a guess. Just take a quick guess. Okay, this is running kind of long, but if you watch this channel, you know we can go long. My OPI stand, which was all I had when I had my salon, 300 bottles. I got a fantastic price of $600 because everything else I bought airbrush, Ericadrill, OPI acrylic system. But $600 ain't getting you that much these days. When you got about a polish and you got about a gel, because OPI gel alone is like $12, $13 just for the gel. And when you add on the polish, you're looking at $17 or $18 per color. So $600 is not going to get you that far in terms of a color selection. You need to have a wide array of colors. I would say you need to have at least 150 different shades to choose from, at least. And then that's just polish. There's so many other supplies. So, you know, it's like, I know I spent way more than $3,000 on supplies, but, you know, just being conservative. But what she said was something to think about. That's why I like D&D too, because D&D will allow you to stretch your dollars and get way more colors and make it look fuller for now. Somebody said cameras, inspections, next month rent. Rent is due now. You said that was back in 2003. That's what I was about to say, because $600 is not getting you much now, because back in 2003, jail wasn't even out. Jail done changed the game. Jail made the game more expensive, way more expensive. That's why I said I can get away with more back then, because I opened in 2004, 2000, no, probably 2007. I think I opened 2007, and jail was not even a thing back then. So I was just buying all polished. They got it harder now because they have to buy jail. Jail is triple the price. So whew, they got it rough. So somebody said it, and I'm about to tell you who said it. She said it. Cameras. You need security system. You got to put some type of security alarm in place. How much is that? How much is that? Real quick. You got to have a security system. Something. Okay, so I'm marking this off my list. Okay, so we only had one person say $60 a month. Okay, so $60 a month, but we're looking at our bottom line number, what we're working with now. So we're going to say they may do free installation, but worst case scenario, we're just going to still take $100 off this budget in case there may be something extra that they have to do or whatever. So we're going to knock this 2,600 down to, we're going to minus 100 for the alarm. And now you're at $2,500. We're almost at the end. So we're at 2,500. Now time has flown by, you guys, and rent is due. 2,500. We're at 2,500. So what else? We got to keep going because we are not ready yet to open. We're not ready. And I didn't even do anything extravagant. I didn't say we're going to put chandeliers up. We're going to put those big giant chairs out. We were very bare bones with this 20,000, to be honest with you. And you see, we down to $2,500. We're down to $2,500. So what else? I'm going to move it along. You got a POS system, but what about your credit card machine? Do y'all want to include that in? We'll put that in. I'm going to give you all that. Because some POS systems may have it digitally where you can just, it came with a swiper that you can do on the side of the laptop. So I'm going to give you all that. So you said a buzzer system. That's funny you say that, because I didn't have a buzzer system at first, but things started happening weird in Salon and things with safety issues, and I ended up having to put in a buzzer system. Some people may not want to, or they don't feel like they got to get it right away, but that is a good thing to include. There's one thing. So now we got everything, right? We are ready to open for business, and we have $2,500 to our name. So what do we do? What needs to be done next? There is something else really. What else do we have to get to make this a success? Because you put all this money, you done spent basically $17,500. And now what are you going to do to make sure that this is a success? It's two things that I would say are major that we need to do. You might be tired of seeing this, but I don't care. What is it? Okay. So you said square. Yeah. That's why I said I'm not even going to deduct that. We're going to give that, put that in there. A grand opening, flyers, business cards. That security system is, yeah. Ugh. You might have to skip on the security system. You only got $2,500. I don't know. Marketing, maybe 4K because it's a small place. So somebody said it. Actually, a couple of you all said it. This is what you need to be doing now. And actually, all of this should have been happening on the back end. So these are just things that we talked about spending money on, like to get things in place. But there are a lot of things that are happening financially on the back end too, such as your flyers, your business cards, your menu. If you doing commission, you need to have them in some type of uniform smocks or something. And your marketing, like that's a big deal. What about the marketing? The marketing is the biggest deal. All this time while all of this was happening on the back end, you have to have your marketing plan rolling. You have to have money for advertising because you can do all this stuff and nobody comes on opening day. I was so afraid my first day opening because I'm like, what if no one comes? And I spent a lot of money on the back end marketing. But here's the other thing Noreen said, you need money for a grand opening. You're just going to open? You need to have some sort of grand opening. What's your budget for your grand opening? You got $2,500 left. What is your budget for your grand opening? You got to do something. You should have been marketing on the back end, spending money and having your flyers and all that made and been putting stuff out in the neighborhood. And then you should have been advertising already in some of these neighborhood flyers and mailers. Maybe even get a cheap radio spot, which they're not as expensive as people think. All these things should have been happening while you were spending money on these other things. So we're down to $2,500 and we haven't even included marketing or a grand opening. For your grand opening, you need to have technicians in there that you're paying up front to come in and work for a couple of hours, give them something, just to give people a taste of what you offer and what the feel and the vibe of the business is, and give people a taste. You need to have some hors d'oeuvres, possibly a DJ, different things like that there, and you need to have a grand opening party. So with that being said, don't forget to do these things, right? I hope you like this whole case study, but don't forget to subscribe and all that good stuff, How much money you got now? How much money do we have now that we didn't talk about spending money on getting the actual business out there and market it and the grand opening party. How much money do we have now? So I guess what I'm trying to say is this ties into my last thing of, should you as a business owner, no matter what it is, want to have decent credit? Yes, because you wouldn't want to take all of your cash and just spend all of your money on this salon. Because once you really get into it, once you start, you can't stop. Once you start, you can't stop. You done signed a commercial lease. You're responsible for this commercial lease. And once you are in it, you're in it, and you got to finish it out. And you don't want to be in this situation where you have spent all this money and certain things you couldn't skip over. You done skipped and cut corners as much as you can. And then you realize you haven't really marketed. You're still trying to get staff in there. It's still going to always be little things you're going to have to buy. You got to have a grand opening party, all the marketing and all of that. And let's not forget that rent is due. Rent is now due again, because it on a perfect day, will it take you 30 days to do all of this? Okay. So just because you gave that commercial landlord those 3 months, that first month plus them 2 months security, your rent is still due again on December 1st. So now it's December 1st. You still got to pay this man his rent. So really, you really not even working with $2,500. You would be working with $1,500 because you got to pay that man his rent. And let's not even talk about, and I didn't even include this, when you go to turn on those utilities, such as the lights, the gas, and all of that, some of them may want deposits depending on what your credit looks like. And even if your credit is okay, they still may want deposits on that. They may ask for a $250 $100 deposit on those utilities to cut them on. Let's not forget you got to have phone lines installed. All that good stuff. That may require an installation fee on the phone lines. You may want to have internet. Everybody has internet and Wi-Fi. You may have to pay AT&T or whoever you use, Xfinity. You may have to pay them some deposits up front too. So really, I'm putting up zero, but like you said, you're really negative. And that's why every business owner will want to have some type of decent credit, because you wouldn't want to just be going through your cash like that because you think you budgeted, but everybody I know who starts any type of project, they never stay exactly on budget, ever. It never happens. It's something that you didn't think about, something that happens that you didn't see. And even if you get in this commercial space and it looks good, you can start tinkering around and stuff. And they may say something like, oh, this wiring is old. These lights are flickering back here. You call out your cousin who's an electrician, like, oh, this all this stuff old. You can't go back to the commercial landlord and say, oh, well, you got old wiring in this place, so you're going to have to fix that. And commercial is different from residential. Commercial is way different from residential. You go leasing a commercial space, you are responsible for way more. So if you want to upgrade the electrical and the wiring and everything, that's going to be on you. You can't go back to your landlord and say, you need to update this wiring. No, that's going to be on you. So I hope this was helpful to somebody, realistic, to look at it realistically. And we really skimmed over it. So it's $20,000 realistic to open a nail salon. You can. You can. You definitely can. But I'm going to tell you, I know people who've opened up a place just for themselves and maybe, just like a very small, basically like a suite. And they spent about $8,000 when it was all said and done. That was just them. So when you're talking about opening up a salon, you really just have to sit down and figure out what you want to spend money on. So like Noreen said, because she has experience as well, commercial is way different. So you are responsible for like everything. You can complain. Luckily, I had a very good relationship with my landlord over time. Like we're still friends to this very day. We go out to dinner. Like he's my friend. Like we're friends. But in real life, in most situations, it's going to be straight up business, and you are responsible for everything. So you can start doing stuff and tinkering around there, and it's like stuff is not right. You're responsible. So this right here, this particular scenario, this will be cutting it way too close. And this will be a business that probably wouldn't even last because they can't afford to stay open. Once they did anything like with the grand opener, started to try to even do any marketing and paid the rent for the next month, they would be in the hole. And if they didn't have any type of credit lines to their in their hand, they will be screwed the next month, because if you didn't do any proper marketing, you didn't do enough marketing, and it's hard to get staff. But let's just say you got a little bit of staff, 2 or 3 people. But business may not be booming just because you opened your doors. That doesn't always happen. A business like this probably would not make it that long. They would be quickly in the hole, in debt. So it can be done with $20,000, but it really can't be done. People may say, well, I opened this $20,000. Yeah, probably way back in the day. But nowadays, you're going to spend a lot of money on just buying all that gel and stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know. $20,000 would be really like, you'll be really pulling it by the skin of your chinny chin chin. I will say this too. I had way more cash opening my business, and I had about 12 credit cards. 12. About literally like 12 credit cards. So we're talking 6 figures I spent. So doing it at 20,000, I don't know. Because even with the credit cards, when it was all said and done, my cash reserve was still lower than I wanted it to be. And I was like, whoa, and that was with me using credit cards. That's why my other video, which I'm just going to put it right up here, you should take a look at that, because it's very important to have credit. If you haven't, if you're just coming in at the end of this video, just watch this. I know it's a long video, but we break it down. And it's a lot of little things I forgot. Like, I didn't even talk about training manuals and all that type of stuff. Did you want to have a receptionist, or are you going to work this business yourself? Are you going to be there every single day, all day, being your own receptionist? because you can't expect your staff to be the receptionist, but you don't have money for a receptionist. So you would have no choice but to be your own receptionist in this case, you know? So I don't know. What do you all think? Like, if you had to go back from the beginning, now looking at this now, and you had to go all the way back to the beginning and do this over, what would you have done differently now that you see how that money kind of went away? You said I have been putting out word of mouth, a friend on radio stations, sending out shout outs, and use as many resources as possible. Yes, a lot of little other tips and tricks you can do too, but you still got to put some money into it. And if you only had $2,500 left over, you really don't have any money. Because $2,500 is like, that's basically like having no money when you own a business. Honestly, not enough for me. Double, yeah, about double or triple. You got to get an account unless you do it yourself. Yo, hey Marisha, I ain't seen you in a while. Hi. I was sued after my first month opening. They lost, but so did I because I lost business time defending myself. Wow. Dang. Would you bring in an outside consultant to train nail techs on etiquette, soft skills, and customer service? No. Who got money for that? Who has money for that? That's not my responsibility. I would just do it slowly on the job, and that's where the interview process comes in. I put people through a soft training anyway, but certain things you just should pick up off the person in the interview. If they come in and they're rude, they're short, they're awkward, then that's what you're getting. Do you really have time to teach this person how to be in this business? No, that's not the salon's responsibility to go that deep with that person. Yeah, it's just something that they either experienced or they're not. And based on their experience level, I'm going to place them accordingly. I will work with everyone, but you're not getting paid the same amount as that person because you need work. I need you to kind of sit back and observe, whatever. But yeah. So somebody may come and say, oh, that wasn't real. Yes, it was. I don't care what nobody say. I was very realistic, and these numbers are very conservative. Very. It will be way more than this spent. But just to give people an idea of how far $20,000 can go, that's how far $20,000 can go opening a salon. You have to go look at Facebook. Yeah, all that good stuff. Nowadays, more like 60 plus. Yep. If they're on there cursing and fighting, smoking weed, yeah, that's a dead giveaway. Yeah. I don't know, but you got some people who, like, I'm gonna say that toxic nail tech or whatever. If you look at her social media, how she was outside of work, she was actually two different people, night and day. It was her boyfriend that messed it up for her. When she came into work, she knew she was on. So, if you had about 80,000 in your 401k, would you use it for a salon? No. I won't pull out all that money. Maybe a little bit of it, but I like to use lines of credit. I always like lines of credit because when you got a line of credit, you use so much, but then you pay only on what you use, but the rest of it is always available to you. I always say leave your liquid assets liquid. You don't use up all your liquid assets. And then if you pull down all that money out your 401k, you have to pay penalties on it. So I wouldn't really touch that money like that. Maybe a piece of it, but definitely wouldn't pull out my entire nest egg. And you're going to be the janitor too. Yep. Right. Why would you touch all that money in 401k? Exactly. Don't do that. No. So if there was anything that you could do differently in this exercise, now that we're all the way to the end, what would you do? Whichever one you have, your business credit, your personal credit, or both, But I would just get a couple of cards. Like I probably would go get me a Home Depot card, a Menards card, a couple of Visas for my credit union or something like that, and try to use that a little bit. I would be trying to stretch dollars, and I would be buying things used whenever I could that's in good condition. And then if my money was this low and I was trying to do this, I would buy bare minimum supplies, but something you can't skip on is you can't skip on your color selection. You can't skip on your color selection because people will go on Yelp and complain about stuff like that. They didn't have that much to choose from. So you're going to have a robust color selection regardless. So, I may just buy enough of the other supplies for now like for the month and just hope and pray and market. But really, a lot of my money would be focused on marketing. I would be marketing, and trying to figure out ways to market. That's a whole nother conversation on ways to market for free and whatever. But hmm, I don't know. I wouldn't change anything. I would just get more money or lines of credit. I'm just gonna open sweep. This is too much. Well, and this is realistic. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just saying, like, in today's day, this is how this looks. And I just don't really think it's feasible. And that's why you see a lot of salons that are open, and 6 months, 9 months later, they are closed. And some of them don't even go get a proper license. They just got a lease and just opened up. And technically, they might be being sued by their landlord because they are still responsible for the remainder of that lease. So I don't know. Okay. So someone had a question earlier, and I was like, "Oh, I can't answer it now because we're in the middle of the case study." But you can ask me now, and I can answer it, and then I guess we'll hop off. And with this virus and everything, who knows where we're going in the future because everything is shutting back down. Oh, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy time. Somebody had a question, but I'm never telling anyone not to open a salon. I do suggest that you don't do booth rent, do commission so you can get a piece of everything that walks through their door. Make sure you have enough cash. Make sure you got some lines of credit, some type of credit at your disposal, and make sure you're thinking about the materials, supplies, and all the insurances and coverages and all that. And don't sit up there and just like make yourself think that you're gonna, like, if you have a 6 station salon, do not sit there and calculate your numbers one way, meaning like, oh, I got 6 stations, so I'm gonna make 15,000 a week because I got 6 stations. No, what you should be doing is you should set goals for like each quarter or whatever annually, and then you need to have a best case scenario and a worst case scenario and a more likely probable scenario. So like 3 different scenarios, because when you open it first, you might not even make that much money. When I first opened, first couple of weeks might have made a couple hundred a day. Once everything started working, the advertising and word of mouth and all of that started working, I was making a couple thousand a day. But then when the recession hit, it went back down to a couple hundred a day to sometimes no money. Then when the fire hit next door, it hit back down. And then when the pipes froze, it was back down to no money. So it's just like sometimes I made a lot, sometimes I made nothing. Most of the time it evened out right about here. So when you are opening a salon, you kind of want to know what those numbers look like here, here, and here, right? And that's another thing. People say, oh, my business, it's $1 million business. Yeah, best damn case scenario, meaning that every chair is full every hour of the day. You got a full staff. Yeah, but that realistically, is that going to happen? No. Be realistic when you're trying to calculate your numbers. For a beginner who is just starting, is it good to go into a suite if you can't work from home starting out? I always tell beginners who are just starting out, you should go working around other people first, so you can learn more, because what you learn in school is not nowhere near everything you need to know. You need to work around other nail techs to pick up their skill. You need to learn about different salon cultures, how to deal with different client scenarios. So my first suggestion is always get your little feet out in the world, get your feet wet out in the world with other professionals who've been doing it longer than you. And then once you know what you're doing, because you can know what you're doing on the nails, but do you know how to handle business and the public? And then once you know how, and know how to do that and get your feet wet and have a little experience, because to me, an experienced nail tech is beyond just knowing how to put some nails on. I know a lot of people who put nails on, they suck at business. They suck at, they suck in terms of customer service skills. They have no business skills. They don't know anything about budgeting or anything. They don't even know how much they make every week. They don't even know. They know nothing about that. They don't know how to handle difficult situations or nothing. So they could be great at nails, but I can consider some of these, especially some of the younger girls coming out, when I see certain things, I'm like, you're very inexperienced. You're technically good, but you're inexperienced. You're inexperienced professional in this industry. So how can you get nail techs to stay at your salon instead of salon hopping? That's the other thing. That's why I said you can't just go off the best case scenario when you're calculating things. Even if you got a suite and say, I'm just gonna hire somebody to come in with me and they're gonna pay my rent. Yeah, but guess what? Most people in the industry are salon hoppers. It has always been a problem. It's always going to be a problem because there's always creative people are, first of all, a lot of us have ADD and they're always jumping from place to place to place to place. The grass is always green on the other side. And they always find a place that's offering them a few percent more commission or that's $10 cheaper, or it's always one little thing. They are not loyal. Most nail techs, most salon industry people are not loyal. And when you find them, you got to hold on to them because they're rare. You'll run into them, but you're going to have to probably run through a lot of people to get those few. And once you get those few, they become your tribe. But they don't come right away. Yeah, not to mention techs jumping around. Noreen knows because she's had a salon. A technician will fool you too, and having you think they love you, they love everything about the place, and they'll smile, 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 and they'll just not show up anymore. Or they'll just come one day and be like, oh, I really thank you for the opportunity, but I'm going to have to go. And they'll just flake on you out of nowhere. And you'll be like, what the hell happened? You won't even know. You won't even get an answer with some of these people. That's just how it goes. How do you get, it's just how people are in this industry. That was my biggest thing, staffing, keeping a stable staff. It took a couple years to get a stable staff. And I never had a full staff for long periods of time. I had my staple people that stayed for years, but everybody else was constantly in and out, constantly in and out. It was a running joke, like I wonder how long she's going to stay. Because most people are flaky and they can't sit still because everybody wants instant gratification. If they don't come into your place and make all this money right away, they're going to go someplace else that they heard is popping. Oh, I heard they make a lot of money over there. They will leave you and go over there without even knowing. I'm telling you, like, it's that. It happens just like that. Yes, I feel like it's hard to find good employees. That's going to always be your biggest problem. I'm not even going to lie to you, and I don't really have an answer for that because that was always my biggest problem. Always. Always. Always, always, always. That's another reason why I like commission too, because if you are really good at what you do and you're really good at marketing and you understand yourself, you know, and how to market your business and the culture and the people that you are marketing to, you understand what they want and all of that, you can control that. But if you're on booth rent, you leave it up to the technician to market themselves. And if they owe you $150 every week and they're poor marketers or they're poor business people, they have come to work, they don't market themselves, they're inconsistent, you know, whatever. They got a weed problem or a drinking problem. They just inconsistent. They're going to have come to work. And then the first thing they're going to do is leave because they don't want to keep giving you that money. And it's not your job to market for them because they're on booth rent. When you're a commission, it's up to you and you have more control and you can bring in as much business as you want. You can always rotate out and get another nail tech. But if you have the business coming in, nail techs are going to find you because people talk in the industry. So they'll constantly want to come see what it's all about. And then you're in control as to how much money is being fed to the nail techs. So that's another reason why I suggest commission, because commission it falls on you. And if you know what you're doing, you can feed them money. But booth rent is on them and you never know what you're getting. I don't know. Stating straight facts, Shecago. Look, I just say what it is, just from all my years experience. And it is what it is. I mean, y'all know I sell stuff, but at the end of the day, I just like talking about it. So it is what it is. And I said, you know what? This would be a great case study to just really run through $20,000 just to see what $20,000 can do nowadays and opening a salon. And opening a basic salon, not even doing new floors or anything, or putting in fancy lighting or anything. You see the money was gone before we could even do any marketing or even have a party, a grand opening party. The money was gone. And we didn't even buy anything extravagant. We bought $50 chairs. We spent $3,500 on supplies, and that was including all the polish. Like, we did not even go crazy with it. and we were like broke before the month was even finished. So yeah. Okay. The salon I worked at paid commission, but the traffic was not consistent. So I couldn't afford to sit and make $100 after 16 hours. It was frustrating. Yes. Oh my God. It's so many different angles and situations. I've been in those situations too, where, oh, I worked at a very popular place, but I taught, there's so many little details to this business. You can be working in a busy salon and people will tell you, oh, it's real busy. They always got people. They is booked, da, da, da. But then when you go work there, yeah, they're busy and everything, but it's like 10 of you all working. And the most popular, what you find once you get in a lot of these places too, tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of these people are regulars. So you see people coming in now, but they already go to Judy. Oh, that's Judy person. That's Judy person. Oh, they waiting on Judy. And that those are Steve's people. Oh, those two ladies waiting for Steve. And then you all, the newer people, you get the leftover scraps, and then they start distributing them that way. But you might be sitting around a lot, and they expect you to be there all day on the days you said, you know. And when you look at it, it's like, yeah, they're busy, but I'm not busy. The people who have been here for a while, they're busy. They probably were one of the first people to start working there, and they built a clientele. So a lot of people get frustrated and they leave, and that's how you can become a salon hopper yourself, because you get frustrated in those situations. And I understand, because it's hard to sit around the salon like the last place. By the time I get up, get in my car, drive downtown, find parking, walk some blocks to get there, you got to set up the stations, you got to stock your station, you sit there and you get clients here or there, here or there. You think you're making some money for a couple of hours because you get a couple of people back to back, then you're sitting for 2 hours. And then by the time you walk a couple of blocks, get back in your car, drive home. Yeah, it was a 12, 15, 16-hour day. And you're like, I made $116. That's like I just worked 2 full-time jobs. I made $116. And I got to report this on my taxes. It can be frustrating. So then in that case, then and when you're working in those type of situations, you might want to find a smaller salon that needs just a dedicated nail tech. So then you might have to go out in the suburbs or just look on Craigslist and find a place that says nail tech needed ASAP. And you read the description. If it says something like busy salon, long time clientele, stations already here, we just need you, call Amy at this number for an interview. That's who you should be calling, because that's a place you can go in and build your own. It's probably not going to be your clientele. Those are the salon's clients, but you'll get anybody who wants something there. You can get them. You can get them right in your chair, and you don't have to, wait 16. You don't have to wait 16 hours. Waste 16 hours in your day. You can go there and work a 10-hour day or 8-hour day, and you can come out with a decent amount of money. So it's no one answer to things. Like I always tell people, I think people think sometimes, like all these people say, I'm gonna call you for a consultation, I'm gonna reach out, and most people do not. I think they think they're gonna get the answer through my lives, and you could try to scrape for the answer through my lives, but the funny thing is, I could have just gave you that answer, but if I talk to you directly and I start asking you questions, one little thing you could say could change up exactly the answer I give you. So that's my general answer to that. It just depends on the situation, where you live, what's happening, what the pricing is like, where your skill level is, what services you offer, all of that, what days you're working, all of that. It's like this industry, there are no straight line answers. It's not weird, but it's a very intricate, detailed industry. And that's why a lot of people don't make it, because you either built for this shit or you not. You either built for it or you not. It's not for everyone. It's frustrating for a lot of people, because it takes years to see what's really happening. It's a lot of little things happening in the industry, depending on where you go. What do you think about working in foreign nail salons? Is it worth it? I've worked in many in different states. Some are nice, some are not. Some were profitable, some were not. Again, that's general. Some are nice, some are not. It depends on your skill level too. Because if you're slow, you're not going to make any money in a discount salon if you're slow. You're not, because their prices tend to be a little bit lower, and they move much faster, and they make the money. They're making money, but they move dirt, cheap, fast, and they crank it through people. If you're a person who cares about the quality of the work and really trying to give, individualized service, that may not be the environment for you unless you go into a rural area with a mom and pop foreign salon, which I have worked in those too, and they didn't care what I did. They was just happy to have me there. So it depends. It's not a bad thing. It just depends on the scenario. Even Asian salons have salon cultures. Every salon has its own salon culture. It's not just American or, black or white or whatever. Every salon has its own pace, its own unspoken way of doing things. It's just finding the one that works for you and where you are. So I think that's it. You said I love working at a discount, no drama and made money. They taught me how to work quick and efficiently. Brown salons, too much drama. I'm older. See, that's what I'm saying. I've had good and bad experiences. The discount salons I worked at, the last one I worked at, it was just, I didn't like the way they did things, and it was a chop shop, but it was disguised as high end, but it was really chop shoppy. I didn't like a lot of the back end favoritism and all that. But I've worked in one or two where it was like, they love having me there. They didn't bother me. They let me do whatever I wanted to do. And sometimes they would pay me more. It would be like, oh, I owe you $170. And then she would just hand me $200, So stuff like that. Like, no. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. So it depends. I can't even group all the discount salons in one basket. Those two places I left for other reasons. It wasn't because they did anything wrong. It was just like I got a job and ended up moving back to Atlanta in one case. And then the other case was the first place I was working, I ended up moving to North Carolina. So I left that discount salon. And when I got down there in North Carolina, I worked at a place and I ended up getting a job back in Atlanta. So both places I left because I relocated, not because they did anything wrong. They were very nice people and very nice to me. So matter of fact, they were trying to make me work more. So I didn't have a problem. It's not always a bad thing. So that's my answer. Okay. So it's been 3 hours. If I don't get anything else to pop up here, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to give it a second. And then what I'll do is I'll log off. But I hope that you all have enjoyed this case study. I thought it would be interesting. And then I got to think of something for the next week. And then I hope you saw that last video, which I think I'll list it up here somewhere, just about having this one little secret that nail techs need to know. It was just a little bit of a midweek inspiration. So make sure you check that out as well. Okay. So I guess I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a prosperous and stress-free week. Be blessed. Bye.